Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunkissed Snackshots. This week, this time, we are just having the one-off dual episode. It's not solos, it's Chrys and Mac going out on the town and ripping shit up. So every week will be different. We'll see what we arrange and who wants to do what. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyway, so Chrys and Mac, it is the middle of the night, as it were. You are both hanging out at the basement of Winnie's salon. You do have a meeting with Elysium that you have arranged in a little bit. So you will have to head on that way soonish, but you have a little bit of time, and most likely you are just decompressing from previous events, because a lot has been happening, and every now and then you just need to relax. The disembodied voice will kick in when it's time for you to go and meet people at Elysium. Until then, you may chat about whatever you wish and do whatever you wish.
How you doing, Chrys?
It's not ideal. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Not bad, actually. I'm maybe not ideal either.
Still quite hungry.
Yeah? You want to deal with that?
Well, I don't have a lot of time really, but
True, we don't know if you're going to burst into flames yet or not. Like, it seems unlikely yet. But I don't know. I'm like, it's been, 2 weeks? It's only a matter of time for someone just, as a
tries
random...
out. I mean, nearly with the pizza person.
Yeah.
I'll talk dough.
Maybe we can wait a few more days, so...
Probably.
The pizza
At
guy
some
was...
point, someone's
Yeah.
gonna have to have a go.
You gotta be careful with pizzas, too. Like, they're delivering them with kids now. That's messed up.
What, like in a Happy Meal for pizzas?
Nah, well, a little bit. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the kid was like, I don't know, 15 or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It ain't right. Should be like, I don't know.
What about
Doing
like the
with his-
employment laws?
Yeah. He should be, I don't know, reading books and, I don't know, doing drugs or whatever. You know, kid stuff.
Those are very different. Okay.
Yeah, true. They are. So, we got this there's something I wanted to ask you, actually. The case with Rags, you remember we talked about it, Russian, gangrel, maybe, could have been, yeah, I can see your face. Well, I'm supposed to be dishing out invites, right?
Not inviting him.
But you don't have to, it's okay.
You're not.
But I invited Clay.
Well, Clay's not that much of a douchebag.
What if it might be an opportunity to speak to him, though? We could ask about Rags, and we could get some info, like, what's the deal anyway? Why so shifty?
He was so rude.
Okay, so beat him up a little bit.
But okay. That sounds well and good. But I don't recommend fighting a kindred when you're a human. It does not go well.
But you're not a human.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I can beat him now. Thought I could beat him before.
Well, how'd
Clearly
you know if you-
couldn't.
But have you tried again since?
Well, be like... at me, and then it just basically left me to whatever. Could have been killed. Wasn't even bothered. He was like, ooh, come back when you can beat me. When you're a real champ. Whatever. So rude. Anyway.
Right, okay. So how'd you know if you're strong enough?
Chrys, would you like a little bit more information about what happened that... And you can choose what to impart, Mac.
Sure.
So, you were going around, kind of a little bit showing off, even, by crushing different dojos and senseis, all different types of martial artists, and it was part of learning for you. You know, you'd fight like a judo black belt, and start incorporating their moves into your own specific style of fighting. As you defeated them, and as you fought them, you'd pick things up off them during the fight, and it was really, really useful. When you came to Pavlov's place, it was very run down. It didn't look abandoned, but it didn't look well kept up, and it had like a very again, not haunted vibe, but it had a very kind of, you know, like ancient feel to it, which you're used to. Like some of the places do have that like aesthetic. And basically you stepped up, you challenged the leader. You know, he was garbed up in what looked like kind of, you know, martial arts outfit and everything like that, and he didn't even use any martial arts on you. You were trying all of these moves that you picked up, all of these things, and he was faster than you, he was stronger than you. Like, you even got a couple of punches and kicks in when he let you hit him, and it was like kicking a log. It had no bearing on him. So eventually he just tossed you down, bit you, made you drink his blood, and then, well, during the transformation process of becoming a kindred, he kept you there, and then once you were turned, he was like, okay, so here's some information. You're a kindred vampire. You need to drink blood to survive. Get out and come back when you're stronger. And then he like basically dragged you across the city, took you to Winnie's place, dumped you out there, and then disappeared. Like, the building's abandoned. All of the people who were there watching you get your ass kicked also gone. And there's been no sign of him since.
So rude, Mac. So rude.
I get an impression there's a bit more to the story than that. Probably a few more details, maybe.
Well, probably. I don't know if I could beat him because he was just really, really fast. He wasn't like Judo Supreme, but he could be. I don't know. Could just be that he was just kindred and I was just human.
Well, I mean, that has a lot to do with it. Why were you fighting him?
It was a little bit like when I punched Celine and she just was like not even phased.
Right.
Comparatively.
So we need to speak to Celine. She can help.
I don't know if it was like Celine levels or if it was just the comparison levels of Chrys to Celine versus human to kindred.
Could be, but either way, if she knows a way that you can do that thing and you just get to the face and then you stop, then have you thought about speaking to her? Like, sounds like you've got a little bit of a thing going on here for, you know.
Now that she knows that Winnie's not dead, I can probably say hello and it not be weird.
Yeah, like, I think you should do that. So why were you fighting him anyway? What's the deal with that?
So definitely wasn't showing off.
Right.
All.
Okay.
And definitely wasn't doing that. And it was good. It was, you know, go to dojos, learn some things, beat some folks, sometimes get some pennies.
I had a friend that used to do that. Used to go around gyms, beating up the trainers who'd get a badge for it.
Was it me? I didn't get any badges, though. That'd be cool, though. Maybe they should do that.
Mac.
Yeah?
Roll me wit streetwise.
Mm, I'm guessing black market doesn't count in this, does it?
No.
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 It was a desperate attempt. Streetwise and a wits. And I won't use a reroll before I even roll.
Okay.
And I clicked roll. Now there we go.
Oh.
Is that a crit?
That is indeed a crit. That is a 5. And yeah, that's enough. So you did hear a while back, in your earlier days as Kindred, some of your sources, some of the people you ran in circles with, it was no big thing. It was just a few places closed down. One of the general rules of martial arts is if a wandering martial artist turns up, beats the guy who owns the place, they have to shut down and carry on. So you have heard rumors, but it was no big thing anyway, and it stopped randomly.
Right. Yeah.
About 3 months ago.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. How many people have you beaten up recently?
Like, some. Why?
I'm talking people like on your level here. Not
Oh.
some bozo in an alley. That doesn't count.
Are you volunteering? You
You can
go?
throw a few at me. Yeah, sure, we could do a little bit of sparring. But look, I'm being serious here. This was your thing, right? And you stopped.
It's not very organized, just like going and fighting folks. I mean, it was good to learn the moves and stuff, and everyone's just like, I'm just gonna stand. Well, Celine is the only person I've punched, really. Let's be fair.
Right.
Fun fact: Chrys has not had a fight since being beaten that time and being turned into a kindred, and has actively avoided fighting in certain situations.
So let me get this straight, right? So you used to fight people to get better at fighting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this guy comes along and he beats you up, and then you stop fighting. But you want to beat him up.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I just, the solution's pretty obvious.
Well,
We need to beat some people up, Chrys.
it's not conducive. Like okay, Tess tried that.
Yeah,
And
not in a meeting, obviously.
I mean, it's ruining. Who can he beat up without causing offense? Really, it's not like there's loads of freaking
Give it
gyms with
time.
Kindred in Weirgate that I can even access right now.
Give it a week. Someone's gonna be a dick. Like, someone's bound to piss someone off sooner or later. Maybe I'll ask Clay. He might know someone.
You don't need to get Clay involved in my business.
No, but okay. But this was good though. This was productive. I feel like yeah.
Well, what happened with yours? Because you.
Oh,
got
he's dead
yours
now.
Dead.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Like, I never really spoke to him that much. I worked for him when I was, less dead, and he hired me to do a case. Did a few things, solved a few mysteries, and he wanted me to find the bad guy. Well, it turned out to be him, and as a rather humorous punishment, he made me. Ta-da!
That's a bit harsh.
Nah, it's fine. He gives me advice every now and again. Like, it's, yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. You know I could do that, right? Well, I say I could do that. Like, we can do that. It's.
I thought that was just like metaphorical for you.
Have you ever tried doing it?
Well, no.
Okay, well, next time I find one, I'm going to show you, okay? And we'll see if we can.
I don't
You
think I
you never
want
know if you
to.
don't try. You never know what you're going to get. I got some good life advice. Or death advice, I guess. Dead people
is
have
he not like bitter about you? I mean, because he's dead and he killed you, and then What?
Maybe. I don't know. He seemed okay, but, he hired me to do a job. I did the job. He hasn't tried to screw me over or anything, If you
That's
ask someone to do something and they do it, you can't complain, so...
sure. Well, that's healthy.
You never know, though. Your sire he might be more helpful dead.
It was still rude.
It's about time to head off. It'll take you about 10 minutes to get there, so you can keep chatting while you move.
We should go. Think about the
Okay.
Celine thing, though. Like, she could be good for you.
Yeah, I mean, we can go chat now, and
All
it'll
I'm
probably
saying
be
is,
suitably awkward.
if you can't even punch her, you're going to have a hard time beating her up. So therefore, she's a little bit above you.
Have you tried to punch her?
No, but she didn't ask me. I mean, we could ask her to ask me, and then we could figure that out, but maybe another time. But either way, if you can't hit her, then you need to get on her level before you can get on his level, I'd assume.
Well, I'll ask her.
Think about it. So anyway, onward to Elysium. Nice guys, so I hear. I used to work for them, but I haven't met these two in particular yet.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that we knew these
Yeah, I used
guys
to work
really.
for the.
Just what Kafka had said.
Yeah, I used to do work for Elysium. Before all this, shit happened.
So before you were a Kindred, or before you were?
Oh no, it was
helping Winnie out.
Helping Winnie.
Oh, okay. Makes more sense.
People need speaking to. I go speak to them. Someone needs a bit of I do a bit of that. Some people speak too much. They need a little bit of a lay
Exit
down.
Stage left.
Exactly. Sleep with the fishes, etc.
Okay.
There's one guy I know sleeping with the fishes. I go speak to him every now and again. It's nice.
Can Kindred drown?
Well, you normally need to give him a little something to help.
Because Castor was like probably lying a little bit about growing limbs, but he said that he asked someone to shoot him and he was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could do some experiments one day if we find someone we don't like. But
let's maybe not suggest this to Tess because she's gonna say Clay.
Yeah, I don't know what's with those two. I know it's like she's young, emotional, like she's probably just got a crush on him or something, but she'll figure it out.
I think it was the bread.
All I'm saying is that if I like the lady, I'll take a breadstick. That's all I'm saying. Get you attention that way.
Okay, Mac. Okay. It's a lot of sharing.
Sure. So let's keep our heads down. Quiet stroll to Elysium. It's not far to go, I guess.
Okay. No, it's not too far. Take one of the main, as it were, main back roads. And Elysium, it looks like it has one of those looks of like a bank or a church or something. It looks like a governmental administrative building type thing. Except for it's open during the night as well, all through the night, and it probably has a sign like, filing and administration document, governmental, blah 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 blah, and people just go in there to like look up records and all that type of thing. We're talking like kind humans in this instance. For yourself, Mac, you've been here before, so you know where to enter and who to go to. You can walk straight in and head to kind of like a receptionist who will basically immediately see you through, and you go into a waiting room. You're there for probably 5 minutes. If there's anything you'd like to quickly discuss, you can, or...
Chrys, do you want to do the talking here? Or, like, I maybe know these guys, so...
I think maybe you should, because the last time Sheriff. Well, the first time the sheriff and I spoke, he kind of was like, kill the child. So maybe I
Really?
should just wait out here.
Did you do something, or?
I was created.
Ah, that problem. I see.
So I'm
Well-
just gonna wait here, I think.
Sure.
Um,
I'll put in a good word for you, right? She turned out to be just swell.
Well, I don't think it's the same sheriff.
No,
No,
but I'll make sure this one doesn't want to kill you, though. How about that?
If you think that's best.
Yeah, probably.
Both of you roll me a wits awareness, please. This is hearing.
I got a 3.
3 and a 4.
A 3 and a 4. Mac, you hear on your periphery like something, but you're talking, so it doesn't really register. And suddenly a voice says, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, lady and gentlemen.
Good evening,
I am
gentlemen.
Sheldon Langdon. It is a wonderful honor to receive you. I believe you are here to meet Mr. Hardcastle, Sheriff Hardcastle."
That's such a good name.
Hmm.
Sure, yeah. We're just here to make some introductions.
Of course. Who exactly will be coming to see the sheriff?
I'll, do the business if you could, take care of my friend here.
Of course.
Like, be nice to her, I mean.
Of course. We will be here when you return. Please, do you know the way?
Yeah, I've been here before.
Then go ahead. I will wait here.
And I will go over there.
Of course.
See you around.
Don't get dead.
Yeah, you too. Have fun.
Okay.
I'll walk on through.
Mac.
Sorry. Hello.
Mac.
Hey.
You find your way into a meeting, into the office where the original sheriff and anyone you had to meet when there was an official meeting, requesting a job, getting you to do something. It's just kind of like round the back ways a little bit. There's like a whole load of stacks of files and shelves and stuff that you kind of go through, and then it's like in a back office. And when you walk in there is one person on the door. There's no real interaction. It's just like a nod. These people, even though it doesn't seem like there's anyone really left. It's very empty. There are still humans working like every day-to-day thing, but there's not the same bustle of Kindred as there used to be. And he just nods. You walk in, and there's just like a small round table. On the other side, there's a chair on your side, and on the other side, small little office room with a reasonably short man, dressed in like a really nice suit, with kind of like messy mop hair. Looks reasonably young. And he looks up and says, "Ah, Mr. Marlowe. Good.
Hey.
I have heard of you, but never met you."
Nice to meet you. Nice suit, by the way.
Thank you. Nice hat.
Thank you. What's your name, sir? Sorry, slips me.
Yes, of course. Sterling Hardcastle.
Sterling Hardcastle, that's right.
Yes.
That's a great name. Who came up with that?
My parents, I believe.
Good.
Well, and then,
Good.
of course, throughout the centuries,
Fair enough.
ancestors, yes.
Yeah, fair enough. I like it. So, how are things going here?
Oh, yes, good. Absolutely wonderful. No problems.
Really?
Would you like to insight
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I would like to incite that a lot. I guess it's it's wits insight, I would assume.
Wow, good roll for him. That's 3 successes for him. Yeah, it would be what's insight, and you can lie detector it.
Come on, load. That's a crit as well. 2 tens.
That is a crit, 2 tens, so that is a 5. So you can tell things are going badly, and he is lying his arse off. And not very well either.
Right. Look, between you and me, I appreciate it's important right now to put on a stoic face. Everyone's doing it, but I worked for the Elysium before, right? You can come clean.
Roll me, charisma persuasion.
That is
With 2 dice, because you did in fact, your reputation precedes you, and you did in fact work for the Camarilla before. But is that with 2 dice?
yeah. I only have 2.
Oh, okay. Good thing you got those 2 then. What I said before in the other solo sessions, the Snackshots, you can have 1 reroll this session, in these like small sessions. So if you want to,
I will use it right now.
yeah, it tends to happen when I say that. It's like,
Yeah.
you can if you want. It's like, yeah, you know what? Sure.
I want to know. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
2.
2 successes. It's enough. And he kind of relaxes a little bit, and he's like, honestly, it is just me and Mr. Langdon here currently, and it's there's not much to do anymore. We're pretty much just holding down the fort, and even though I am the sheriff, it's really just a placeholder title because they made a couple of us stay behind, and we picked the short straw. So
They made you stay behind? Where did they go?
well, the ones who didn't die and burn up, you may have noticed, it's
Yeah.
quite empty in here, and
Yeah.
we are not sure what it was, but it was majorly the eldest of us,
Yeah.
which is very, very worrying.
Indeed.
It
So they put their tail between their legs and just left you?
Oh, yes. All of the anarchs, all of the Camarilla, aside from myself and Sheldon, Mr. Langdon. We're reasonably new, so it was decided that we should stay to represent the Camarilla and keep things under order. That's my directive. Keep things in order.
I see. Sounds like you get on pretty well with the old guard. Have you spoken to them?
Who?
The old... Oh. You, my friend, need some connections. Would you like a little bit of help?
I would be most appreciative of any help you could give.
Okay. I've got a couple of ideas, but I've got to say, there's a little bit of tit with the tat, you know?
Okay.
So, we may need to enlist your help at some point.
Of course. I don't know what help we can be, but if we can be of help, we will.
That sounds useful. So, status quo. Have you heard about the meeting with Kale?
Who?
Okay. We're gonna need to work with this a little bit. You need like a PR person or something. So,
Well, if it helps to tell you the situation, I went out once since this all started, and almost died.
really, what happened?
I got attacked by a rank group of people, Kindred.
Oh, where was this?
About a street away from here.
Oh, sounds scary. Which direction?
Straight out the door and straight.
Oh,
I don't know who they were or what they wanted, so Mr. Langdon chased them off, and we've stayed in here since, and no one has come here. So we have no idea what's going on.
Right. Could you give me a little description of what they look like? Just...
Angry. And
Oh.
fists.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, angry people tend to have those. Yeah, okay. So, this has been helpful.
Well, I didn't promise to be helpful. And as
No,
you,
I
as you
was-
said, you have been working for us in the past before this whole situation erupted, and I would appreciate it if you just, we're doing our best. We're keeping the humans, the kind, we're keeping them under wraps as best we can from here.
Understood.
So all of the previous agreements still hold in place with the police and the emergency services.
Are you in
and
charge of
everyone.
that right now?
Yes. I
Oh, good.
make sure that nothing has. I've been hearing some very worrying reports about fighting.
There's a lot of
And-
fighting out there. It's very
yeah.
scary.
Yeah. But seeing as I was immediately attacked, I decided maybe we just keep things from getting any worse from here. And Mr. Langdon has been keeping guard.
I understand. It's probably best if you stay here for your safety.
Yes.
Speaking of the police,
Yes.
I had a bit of trouble at the police station the other day. Do you know who is in charge of all of that?
Well, technically speaking, me. But
Really?
most requests and so forth come through me.
Friend of a friend who's an inmate is having a bit of trouble.
Oh, do you mean the prison?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have jurisdiction over the prison. That's a
Oh.
separate thing.
How separate?
Well, it's out in the country,
Yeah.
so that would fall under the prince's domain. And
Oh, good. I was glad you said that. Look, anyway, I was meaning that by being helpful because, my friend, I did not know when I came here today that you need a friend right now. Because it sounds like you're a little isolated.
a little bit.
Yeah.
We did have some contact with a lovely young man who who said that they'd come back and give us some information, but they didn't.
Right. What was the young man look like? What was his,
A pockmarked face. I'm assuming he was a Nosferatu.
Oh, really?
Yes. But
Okay.
we are sure that he just met an unfortunate end. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't come back and stay in contact with us.
Okay. So, here's what I'm going to suggest, because
Yes,
there's a lot of things going on right now that you need to be caught up with, but
of course. Okay.
firstly, for your safety, I'd recommend you stay inside and leave it with me. I'll figure out a way to get you out safely. There are some people I'd like you to meet. It may be
All right.
dangerous to do so. I may need money.
Okay.
Do you have any spare resources you can offer?
Oh, we were left with mostly nothing. Influence, we have. We
Okay.
can keep things running for for some time. Maybe not as long as everyone would like, but already we are starting to lose some influence with the police and the government, the city council. I think there are
Okay.
possibly I have a feeling that maybe some of the younger kindred who stayed in the city,
Yeah.
they're starting to set out on their own. Not even with the Anox or the Camarilla.
You've got to be careful of that. That's
So,
going to get you in a heap of trouble.
But I don't have the political weight anymore to keep. So it's very possible that other kindred are putting their influence on the police and everyone.
Yeah, they
everyone
could
else.
be. Okay, so what influence do you have left?
I mean,
At
I
least?
can manage to keep some lighter crimes under wraps, and
Okay.
you know, there have been a couple of video phone recordings that have been
Oh,
mysteriously disappeared, or
okay.
reports of, you know, there was one report which I had of a young girl and a very large man playing on a swing set or something
Yeah.
that I got purged out. Um it you know, it was a little too strange, and I thought, you know, probably best if that story didn't make the
Yeah,
papers.
that sounds a little bit. Okay. So, I'm going to get back to you with regard to a meeting because
Yes, good.
there is a
Good.
meeting happening, and it's up to you if you want to go, but I need to get as many people there as possible. And sounds like you may. Well, it's up to you, but that's my job anyway. Give me a few days just to make it safe, and we'll just consider this a friendly favor for now. How about that? And,
What wonderful. I like that. Mr. Langdon, of course, is very, very competent. He's very good at his job.
yeah,
However, he is just one Kindred, and even he had difficulty fending off those brutes, the beasts who accosted me.
right. Well, I tell you what, I need a bit of exercise, so I'm gonna go have a little chat with them for you. How many were there,
Uh,
roughly?
20 maybe. There's a
Okay,
vast
20.
horde. I'm gonna go off that off the previous lie detector and his
Yeah,
lying as well.
he's BSing.
He you don't know how many there were. There probably weren't that many, but
Sure.
you know, he's trying to make it seem like he fought a good fight, when in
Yeah.
actuality what probably happened is a couple of people jumped him, and then
Yeah.
Langdon was like, piss off.
The important thing is, my friend, that you fought bravely and you survived. And
It really was a dastardly experience, but
yeah, so leave it with me. I'm gonna go speak to them and we'll figure something out, okay? And
of course.
as I say, in the meantime, consider this a friendly IOU. And 2 weeks, Saturday, just try and make sure you've not got anything in your schedule, okay?
Noted. Thank you.
How do you feel about clubs? I mean, your suit's nice. I think you'd probably.
I mean, they didn't have clubs; it was just fists. But
Yeah, that's good. So, how do you think about, social events, big meetings?
Yes, that's actually where I shine.
Really?
Oh yes, I'm very persuasive, very loquacious.
Really? Okay. Well, that could be useful. Right. Well, I would like to thank you for your time, and I will ask your colleague where these thugs are, these heathens, and we'll go have a word. And in the meantime, know that you are not alone, my friend, for there are others out there who hold your beliefs.
Oh, wonderful. Hopefully when I meet them, they won't kick my teeth in.
No, I tell you what, if you do need a neutral party there, I am happy to oblige.
Oh, wonderful. We did used to have a man for that. Unfortunately, we have heard no word of him since this whole. We think he's probably one of the ones who went up in flames. So.
I see. So from now on, I'll leave a business card at the desk, and you can be in touch. Yes. Okay. Good stuff. Right. Look after yourself. I'm just going to sort of give him a condescending, like, pat on both shoulders at the same time, like, hang in there, okay? You're doing a good job.
And look after yourself, because it is quite dangerous out there.
Very dangerous. You have no idea.
I think I have some idea.
Good night.
Okay. And you head out and head back to the waiting room. Okay. Chrys, you are left in the waiting room with a fairly large, fairly solid looking guy. He's dressed in casual wear, jeans, t-shirt, jacket. And he stands there. He's like looking straight forward, so he's not actually looking at you.
I'm gonna try look at like what he's looking at.
It's the other side of the room.
You okay there, bud?
He like looks down, like looks round and over at you. Yes, thank you very much, miss. I am fine.
Okay. So something on the wall there that I can't see?
No, I am just watching over you while your friend has his meeting.
Hi, I'm Chrys, and you're...
Hi, I'm Sheldon Langdon.
Hi, Sheldon Langdon. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you very much. It has been an interesting time, a time of change and transition, but it has been quiet, which I like.
Quiet. It's really busy for everyone.
Well, my charge has decided to keep our forays to a minimum. So I have not been out of this building aside from to feed.
Since when?
Since the fire incident.
But that, like, just 2 feet outside in all that time.
To feed, not 2 feet.
Oh, well then. That's a little better. Wait, what are you feeding on, though?
The humans.
Just, like, random humans?
We have a few in the office who we are beholden to us. I tested them and they seemed safe, so
I guess you don't know, like, what that was then, the whole...
we had plans to look into it, but unfortunately, it is hard to look into without going outside.
Why aren't you going outside, though?
The sheriff, interim, has decided that it is too dangerous and that we should maintain the peace from inside the safety of this building.
The sheriff that's supposed to maintain the rules and peace throughout the city, that sheriff. The one
I hold no judgment over the sheriff.
I'm just asking. That one, the one that's this building's a little smaller than the city.
It is indeed. But the prince bequeathed unto him his title, and therefore he has the ability and the power to dictate policy.
So, you're keeping peace in here. Fine. Sure. But you're just leaving everyone else to it. Like, you... What? I'm a bit confused. The sheriff's supposed to kind of go out or get people to sort stuff out for him. Like, how how do you guys not know what caused it yet? Or
Could you know?
no, because I'm
What
not the
caused-
sheriff.
Neither am I.
Well, you're here with the sheriff.
True. The sheriff did initially try to go out. Unfortunately, he was accosted by a couple of gang youths, and since then has been hesitant to go on excursions.
Kindred or Kine gang youths?
Fine.
He got beat up by like 2 human people, and so he won't go outside to the city.
Indeed.
And you're loyal to him because
Are you trying to tempt my loyalty?
I'm really not. I'm just confused why this guy is the sheriff and how this is acceptable.
Roll me a wits insight. This will be body language, so your martial arts insight will apply here.
So I'll get an extra one.
An extra one.
Not great.
You can re-roll if you like, but it depends how important you consider this insight.
Not rerolling.
His body language is hard to read, and his demeanor. He seems to be professional. And he says, "I paid a heavy price for my position. I am loyal to the prince and whoever the prince appoints. I will do my duty."
You could encourage him to go out and get a grip.
Why do you have the impression that I haven't?
Because you. Well, we're having a meeting.
What
And
is your
what?
full name, young lady?
Why?
So that I may address you properly.
Chrys is fine.
If I have to, I can go into the records and find it out myself.
Chrys wants a heart.
Of course. Well, Miss Hart, you may find out, as time goes on, as a kindred, that you are attached or subservient to people who do not deserve it. Therefore, you must find meaning in the work and your position that you have taken, regardless of the people you serve.
That sucks for you, though.
I have no thoughts on that.
Okay, Mr. London.
Please, feel free to call me Sheldon.
Well, why couldn't you just keep calling me Chrys? Ugh, well, fine. Well, we're having there's a meeting, and Max seems to be inviting everyone and their mum, so she's probably going to mention it to Sheriff Man.
Noted.
And it, I don't know, probably be good for you guys to go, but I don't know.
I will impress upon the sheriff that it is a worthwhile endeavor. But
There's
I
gonna be
make
a lot of
no
people
promises.
there. Okay, well, there's probably going to be a bunch of people there. That's it. Basically, we're going to have a meeting, see what the crack is, see if anyone knows anything about the whole
Well, I would imagine that Mr. Gorban, Mr. Callig, and Miss Talia, for definite, Miss Medici, would be there. The others would most likely follow along if they were to join in, excepting maybe the Carrion, the Old Guard, depending on the theme of the meeting.
So have you met everyone? Like, that seems to be the big hitters there.
I have received information about them, yes.
Oh. Were they swung by or like just news?
Yes, one of the Nosferatu visits on a regular basis to exchange information and repay favors.
I mean, you guys are like pretty geographically close, even if you guys aren't going outside.
I would appreciate it if you did not mention it to the sheriff.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay.
It would only worry him and fuel his desire to never leave.
Shout him. You're much more patient than I am. So what's your opinion on what's going on around town? Like, everyone seems to be scrapping a little bit of, well, up in Hunter's Walk and Gorbin and everyone.
Oh yes, there will always be power struggles. Without the structure that is the Camarilla, there is no restraint. Without restraint, you have chaos and anarchy. But who knows how long it will last.
Probably a while if the Camarilla aren't doing much about it.
I have nothing but respect for the prince. He has dictated no one shall leave the city.
What? No, no one can leave a city?
And the environs around. If you go too far, you would find yourselves stopped and maybe killed.
Oh, well, that's nice to know. Kind of wish we got that memo.
Well, it was instated not long after the incident and the exodus from the city. A sizable number of younger kindred, after the city had formed its power structure, decided that they had no stake here and tried to leave. Some were turned back, some were killed.
Well, great. Well, now we know that there should be like a notice board or something. No. Okay, no leaving. So wait, so Roman though, he came into the city, I heard. Like, he's new. Is he like new?
Yes, he received permission. He requested to be allowed to try and establish some semblance of Camarilla power. And because he is very well connected with the... And like he stops himself and he's like, with another prince in a different area, he was allowed.
He seems a bit weird though. Have you met him?
I have not. He has not deigned to visit this place, as very many others have not.
I mean, do you think that if he's got permission to be here and, you know, establish some camarillery vibes, that he'd come and see you guys and, like, work or something?
I have not been attempting to establish contact with any of the players in our their city, purely because I do not particularly want them to meet the sheriff.
Is he that bad?
You can ask your friend when he returns. I will say nothing bad about the sheriff, only insinuate slightly.
Well, it fills me with confidence that you phrase it like that. Okay. And Tasha's struggling a little bit here.
It's fine.
Tasha's like,
At this point, Mac comes back in. And for now, he'll have to be a ghost. Because I'm assuming it'll just be a quick scene where it's like,
How you doing?
good evening, sir.
Everyone
We've had
doing
a nice
good?
chat. Yeah, we had a.
Good. The sheriff is very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like you two are having fun.
Of course. Well, if you have concluded your meeting, I will go about my duties. Please, feel free to see yourselves out.
If I could borrow you for a moment first, if you don't mind. Just a couple of things that I forgot to ask your colleague.
Of course.
I'm willing to do a little bit of work to help because, quite frankly, you obviously need it.
I will not comment on that, but
Yeah,
yes.
you don't need to. It's okay.
Is it really? Like.
Well, I wanted to know if there is anything that you're able to offer in return and what your opinion might be on what you need currently.
That is something you should speak to the sheriff about. I do
should.
not have the influence to say much.
I see. If someone needed to get word to the prince, are you in open communication or are things very dark since?
We can get communication to the prince on occasion.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know for now. I'd like to thank you for your time, and would you mind pointing me towards the people that tried to beat you up?
I think we'll chat about that outside, Mac.
Of course.
No, the beating up thing is essential.
I have allayed Miss Hart of the details.
Oh, you have? Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Well, have yourself a nice day.
And yourselves as well. Okay, and you head out, he saunters off, and you head out into the street. So, you're out on the street.
So, how'd it go?
He knows a lot actually.
It's a lot more than the sheriff does then.
I heard that he's pretty shit.
That's one way of putting it. He's never
But
really been
in a
outside.
nicer way.
Yeah. You know how Tess and Cass are pretty easy to manipulate if you push their buttons? His button's already been pressed and it's stuck on. The guy's just scared of everything, so...
Yeah, he said that they've not been out apart from to feed.
Yeah.
Since the whole, they went out once or something. And he got jumped by some, toucan. Went at him.
Where was that, by the way? Did he say,
Just, down the road, but toucan.
Okay. Oh, really?
And so...
Well, look, I don't know how much we can get from them, but they're better connected than we are right now. They affiliated with the prince. I'm not saying you have to be, but they can put in a good word. Prince, prison, territory. By the way.
Yeah, we can't leave this city.
Oh, that's nice. Why?
Yeah, we're not allowed out. They'll either kill us or send us back.
Well, that's fine. I wasn't planning on leaving, really.
And just so we know, because nobody sent a memo or anything, but apparently it's locked down since the whole night, which
Okay, so
Would have
kind
been
of
good to know.
like a quarantine kind of.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Interesting, though. Interesting indeed. I wonder if, like, is that for everyone or just us? I wonder how deep that goes.
Probably just like Kindred, though.
I would
Why
imagine
they-
so. That's got to be difficult to police.
I didn't ask.
Yeah, look, I'm thinking, though. No matter how useless they seem to be, they are connected, they have friends, and they have some pulling power with the police. Some. That's still something we don't have, so I'd like to scratch their back a little bit and stretch my legs at the same time.
Okay. Well, I told them about I told him about the meeting, and that
Yeah.
it's probably good for them to go. But if he's
As
so
many as possible. That's what Kale said. That's the job. But we'll see. We'll see. So before we go back, I said to him that we'd look into whoever beat him up. So
I mean, it's like two kind down the road in the whole seat.
So we go beat him up?
Do you know who they are?
No. We ask questions. I'm a detective, Chrys. It's what we do.
Do you know what night it was?
I don't need to. We just find someone, we beat them up, and then, word gets around, be like, don't mess with this guy. And let's just have a look. There might be some, what could
Let's
go
just
wrong?
like have a quick look around then.
It won't take long. Come on. And, maybe if you're lucky, you might, get another badge.
Any badge? Didn't get any badges. I'm kind of upset about this.
Really? Well, we'll work with that. So Mac is very much bursting to have a little stroll towards wherever the guy got beaten up.
It's all good. I just
Okay, yeah, it's literally over the road and down an alley.
Okay, just gonna go snoop around.
Okay.
See if there's people hanging out there.
Both of you roll me either wits streetwise or wits investigation.
not doing well today on these.
5, not bad.
4.
Oh, does it not count?
Did you roll 2 10s? Just 1 10.
Only 1 10, so I don't know how that works.
So crits are when you roll 2 10s.
2 10s,
you
right.
you get 2 extra, like a critical.
Oh, it's only when you crit that it counts the 2 extras.
Yeah. So
okay.
1 10 isn't a crit, it's just a 10.
I thought 10s counted as 2. Right, that makes sense now. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Chrys, looking around, it seems like people kick it here a fair amount, but you don't really, as you're walking through the alleyway, there's nothing really to point anything out. Mac, you kind of pick up on there's basically just like a smudge of blood against the, like, dried caked blood,
Okay.
against the against one of the walls where someone probably got their head, like, slammed into it.
Nice. I don't have to turn on Bloodhound, do I, for picking up such delicacies? Okay, cool. And no obvious, like, gang loitering in the corner? Nothing?
Yeah, there are like 3 or 4 people just kind of kicking a can, just
Okay.
having a hangout, having a chat.
I'd like to approach.
Okay. Are you taking Chrys with you?
Yeah, Chrys will walk
yeah,
along with him like, oh, okay, we're going over here.
Oh, we'd just be like, well, I'm going, bye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, come on, Chrys. We got work to do.
Oh, God.
Excuse me, gentlemen. How's it going?
Yeah, what's up? What do you want?
I'm investigating a crime on behalf of the police. Well, actually, that's a lie. I'm just looking after a friend.
yeah, they like stiffen up when you mention the police, and then when they say that's a lie, they're like, what? So who you with?
I'm with me. And a small little weedy guy that wears a nice suit and scruffy hair. I used to work for the police a long time ago, but that's a whole other thing.
Right. Well, how can we help you, officer?
My scruffy, well, no need to go to formalities. It's been a long time, but my scruffy little friend was attacked, and I'm just trying to make sure that it's safe for him to come outside again.
That sounds like a horrible tragedy. The ruffians who did that should be locked up and put in prison.
I would like to know, sir. Did you do it?
No.
And I would like to Whitson inside him.
Okay.
All
Lie
over the
detector
place.
is effective.
Come on, Mac. This is important for you, buddy.
4.
That'll do.
Okay. I will roll a subterfuge manipulation.
I'm with the police.
Mm-hmm. It's 1 success for the guy.
Yep.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Perhaps if I rephrase the question,
Feel
would
free.
you know who might have upset my friend?
No idea. Could have been anyone.
It could have been anyone.
Would you like to do another and see?
I am... How many of them are there?
There's 4 total.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just wits insight for now. I just want to know if he's lying.
Okay. He gets nothing. Okay, so from this one, you get the impression that he's hiding. You get the impression that he probably has heard of many muggings and etc. And while he may not specifically be involved in that particular one, he probably knows who did it, and he's probably you know,
Yeah, probably has a clue.
he probably has a clue, and also he you know, he just knows people who bug people and
Yeah.
you know, beat people up and etc. So
I'm inclined to believe that you're looking after yourself. But, Chrys, this guy knows who did it. He knows a bully. How do you feel about bullies?
Well, maybe he should not be so weedy and get a grip.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
We need to work on your moral compass.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, I just can't take 2 people, really. It's like a rip life.
True.
see, she understands.
Yeah. I don't think you do. And I'm going to headbutt him.
Okay, that is a strength brawl. And he will respond in kind with his own.
I'm not trying to kill him with it. I'm
yeah,
just trying to give him like a smack. Just to shock him.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, you kind of catch him a glance in the head. He's like, oh fuck, and then it's going to be all of them coming at you.
I was hoping there would just be a friendly conversation here, but that's fine.
So we'll count that as like the initiation of the fight.
Okay.
So you will all go first, and then they will go. So
Okay.
we'll start with Chrys, because I think Chrys is... Well, Chrys hasn't made a move, so Chrys, you have the option to kind of act how you'd like. It's interesting because this is our first fight.
It's kind of difficult to decide as yet because Matt can probably handle himself, but
yeah, that's a good point. Like, Chrys, you have not been fighting recently, and I feel like that may be a reaction to the ass kicking and turning. But there are 4 of them, and while Mac has shown himself to be semi-decent, you could tell just from his style that it's at
probably
best
not going to go well.
At best, it's barroom brawling type of technique and everything. There's no finesse, there's no skill, so he probably wouldn't know how to fight multiple opponents. And yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try jump jump a little bit towards 2 of them who are, I guess, running at him?
Yeah, there's one guy in front who's talking to Mac, and the others were kind of like listening, but a little back a bit. So like when that headbutt happens, they start moving. They kind of start moving forward as you make your move. So you can actually jump in between all 3 of them if you like.
I was just gonna try trip them and not go all murdery pants on them, but
yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Let's try that. We'll try trip some of them up.
Okay, so you want to jump in between all 3 of them and like do like a leg kick on one of them or a sweep or something?
You want to see how Mac does first?
Than a kick.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to do maybe like a judo move throw that you know, so you kind of like
yeah.
You kind of like jump
like
in,
take out the legs,
and,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, and kind of like throw one over, while sweeping the leg. Sweep the leg. So
I know how to do that.
Roll me a strength roll.
Okay, okay. If
we
they
need action
die,
music. Do we need action music?
Oh, good point. Yeah.
I'll just not press this button yet. If they
Build
die,
that tension.
Mac's in trouble.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, that was for that. So 1 success. That'll be a strength roll. Okay, so that's 3 successes. Yeah, you kind of get one of them and like kick his leg out from under him, and he kind of smacks against the wall, like leaning his shoulder on it, and you do a decent, you know, you've put him off his feet, and you're kind of there ready to deal with the other 2. They've turned their attention to you. Mac?
I'm just going to smack my guy a little bit.
Actually, like kind of grab him and just like backhand
So the
him.
guy I've just headbutted, actually, I'm just going to like grab him and try and just shove him up against the wall.
Okay.
But I'm going to pull some dice out.
As in like rouse blood?
I'm going to roll less than I can.
Okay. Well, keep in mind, like the damage you do.
That's fine.
Okay.
Mac's not actually putting a lot of effort into this.
Yeah. Okay. That's even Stevens. So technically you win.
Okay.
But so you'll kind of grab him. You'll have grabbed him, but you won't have done anything with him.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And just pin him up against the wall, or just grab him and just.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, you know, both grabbing the lapels type thing.
While doing that, I'm just checking on my shoulder and just checking to see what Chrys is up to.
Okay. Chrys, the two guys who are, one of the guys spends his time pushing himself off the wall while the other two come at you. They're gonna swing some fists and try and give you a rap. So it's a strength brawl and a strength brawl. It's one success. Strength brawl. Give it a second. So that's another. So they both got one success. Chrys, you can use your strength brawl to kind of basically counterattack them if you like.
Yeah, try and make them roll into it and whatever.
Yeah, like basically you like grab their hand, punch them in the face as like these are coming in. You can also dodge their attacks, which would be dexterity athletics. Or if you want to basically start figuring out their moves and their tendencies, you can do brawl insight.
Ooh.
So brawl insight would give you your bonus as well. But it wouldn't like, you wouldn't do any damage to them. You'd basically be dodging them and observing their moves.
I think that's a little bit obnoxious though as well, to be dodging them and they can't do shit. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Brawl insight?
Brawl insight.
That's not an option.
It's not an option, but you can just you can do brawl and then add your insight in dice.
So brawl wits?
Give me a sec here.
It's a weird roll. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah. It would be. Do you have the same in insight as you have in brawl, as you have in wits?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 in all.
Okay, so then yeah, it would be brawl, wits, and
then +1.
+1 for your speciality.
I do have 2 specialities, but we'll just use one because it's an insighty one rather than an actual fight.
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
Is that a good or a
Probably
bad
good
thing?
that I didn't attack.
That's a double fucking 10 on the what the hell?
But I said I'm dodging and taking the.
So you kind of duck one fist and duck another fist, and you've figured them out. You know exactly how they're going to attack and when. Would you like to close your eyes and just dodge all of their attacks?
That's so obnoxious.
I'm
gonna do that and also laugh.
You got a 5 crit. So you actually got 7 successes against their 1 each.
Is that what you've got? Okay.
And the
See
third
how I do.
the third guy joins in as well, and you're just dodging literally everything. Would you like to occasionally like non-lethal trip them up? You know, like make them hit each other even and things like that?
Yeah, dodge between them and
So
duck under an arm and it swings and hits the other guy in the face and.
yeah. So by the end of this, and Mac, you know, like, and incidentally, Chrys, if you want to duck out of this combat and help Mac if he needs it, you totally can as well. But Chrys, by the end of this, all 3 of them are going to be on the ground, unconscious, having like accidentally hit each other, and Chrys hasn't thrown a single punch. Because that is ridiculous.
That's some Jackie Chan shit right there.
That was,
Yeah.
I mean, does that count, Mac?
Well, we'll get to that bit.
Yeah.
But like for example, like one of them charges at Chrys, and Chrys like runs up a wall, does a backflip, and he just runs into the wall and like, you know, face him. So Mac, what would you like to do? Chrys is fine.
Is the douchebag attacking me or?
He's grappling with you. So what he'd do is he'd try and either break the grapple or like throw you to the ground. So he'll try and throw you to the ground.
Okay.
Which will be a strength brawl. He got no successes. How would you like to counter or like deal with that? Like you can strength brawl to keep him in the grapple, or
Option number 3. I'm gonna let him.
okay. So he grapples you. You kind of like go, oh no, poor me! Like go to the ground and
Exactly,
kind of
as
grappling.
best as I can act.
Yeah. Give me a charisma performance.
Not bad.
Yeah, good enough. Good enough. He's like, yeah. How does it feel? Yeah.
Ah, Chrys,
Stupid,
help!
stupid cop.
Chrys, I think he's got me. Hit me. I in between, if I can, like, squeeze in, like, I'm gonna tell him to hit me.
Okay.
Like, hit me. Like, come on, hit me.
It's so weird. Give me a sec. Yeah, take a superficial health.
Sure.
As he
Good,
he does crack you a bit.
Okay, that was good.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
You will.
Am I clear yet?
Honestly, with your roles and their roles, like you manage to like dodge around them, and they're tripping over each other, they're knocking each other out, and then by the time you stop, they're all like kind of groan. They're not unconscious, but they're groaning and they're heavily injured. Like one guy smashed his face against the wall, another guy took an elbow to the face, another guy like got a knee in his stomach. Turns out it was his own. It's all very weird and like
Weird and wonderful combat.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Because you close your eyes, it pisses them off. They're like, oh, get her. And then it just gets worse and worse. They lose control, they lose their composure, and...
Chrys was laughing throughout.
And then, obviously, you stop and you look and you see Max, like, on the floor getting punched in the face.
Okay, we're gonna go up to the guy, grab him by the scruff of his neck, trying to pull him off. Sort of keep him under control and, like, kick him in the... If he stands up, I'm gonna kick him in the back of the knee.
Let's do the pull him off.
See how it goes.
That's a strength brawl, please.
Okay, and I get grappling bonus.
And a +1 because it's he's already in combat with someone.
Okay, so 2 bonus. That could have been
Is that correct?
bad. No, it's just a normal one.
Would you like to re-roll any? You do have a reroll still.
I think I don't want higher.
I mean, Chrys has been,
I think she's like, but I also don't want to throw him over a building.
Let me ask, are you not sure whether you want to, like...
I know, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah?
Roll.
Okay. You kind of pick him up and oh wait, he needs to
Come on, little man.
needs to roll his.
Get yourself a crit. Oh, not bad. Good effort.
Yeah. You kind of like pull him up and like pull him off Mac and like throw him backwards a little bit. He goes like he kind of like stumbles backwards, almost trips over one of his mates. Yeah. And then I'd say like he kind of like looks around like surprised that his mates are down, and he's like, you did this, and like starts walking towards you. So you'll still get your turn before him because he had to basically come back.
Well, Chrys is I'm gonna be. Yeah, I think it's time to go.
Okay.
So she's gonna walk towards him as well. Like, you asked a question.
What are you attempting to do here? Are you wanting to put him, wanting to put him down, or?
Well, I'm about to go in, but it's supposed to be scary. Okay, I just kicked his friend's asses, and I'm like, you were asked a question about.
Do you want to maybe like? Do you want to maybe like do what Mac was gonna go do, which is grab him and like shove him against the wall? Because otherwise he's gonna try and hit you, and like the combat's gonna continue.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. Strength brawl, please. With grapple.
Okay.
I love how scared you are of... You're not scared of combat for your character, you're scared of combat for everyone else.
Everyone else. I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay, he will roll as long as he...
I don't even think he can possibly beat me.
He can't beat you, but it does adjust what like if he gets no successes, then that's worse than him getting 1 success or 2 successes. And there's a possibility of a crit would put him at 4, so possibility. So yeah, you kind of like he like smacks his head. He's a little bit woozy as you kind of like, and he looks a little bit out of it, but that will ultimately end the combat.
I said you asked a question.
Okay. Oh fuck. Yeah. I know the guy. I know the time. Like, what do you want?
Matt, what do you want?
Nah, nothing. That's me done.
Don't do crimes.
Would you like to just give him a rap and knock him out?
I would like to, if Chrys is holding him, I would like to just go up and, hey, buddy, why don't we just forget tonight?
Forget does 5 minutes. You were fighting for a little longer.
Oh, were we fighting for a while?
Yeah.
In that case, just forget a few of the details, okay?
You want to do forget for like the end part.
Yeah, so he's got an element of like, and then what?
Yeah.
So like he knew we came along and something happened, but he's not sure what. It's fine.
The end part would be blacked out for him. It'd be fuzzy, so he'd just think he got knocked out like earlier, and for his mates, like they knocked themselves out, so they probably won't talk about it much. So he's got kind of like this like dazed, like cross-eyed look where he's just kind of Chrys, would you like to knock him down?
No crimes, okay?
Yeah, it's a crime.
No crime.
A crime.
No crime.
Possibly crime.
Good.
Close enough. And I'm gonna.
You can because you've won the combat and you have enough control. You can just kind of give him like a
have a nap.
Yeah, and he goes down.
He was a lot stronger than he looked.
I mean, Mac, what? You didn't even ask him any questions.
Oh, I did. I got everything I needed. It's fine. You feel better now?
A little bit.
Yeah. You feel good?
Just feel the...
That was good. I like that. That was something.
That was nice.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about beating up some Kindred next? Maybe not tonight, but soon.
I mean, who are we thinking of?
I don't know. Someone who needs beaten up, ideally, but have a think about it, okay?
Went pretty well, actually.
It was pretty good. Let's have a high five. Come on.
I carried that fight, Mac.
You did. You did great. High five, come on.
Do you deserve a high five?
Don't leave me hanging here. This is for you, not for me. Come on. Come on. Like my arm's starting to ache. Slap. Nice. Yeah, good work. All right. Well, let's head home and, if you want to fight any more crime, be my guest. That's me done for the evening.
Okay, well...
Oh, I might swing by just Elysium on the way back. I just want to let them know that it's taken care of.
We'll have to go walk back?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just loop in on the way.
It's literally down
It's
an
like
alleyway.
right there.
It's like a 2 seconds.
I'll just swing by in the back. We don't have to do that, but I'm just going to pop in and be like, yo, sorted. Just show him like where I got hit.
You want to leave a message with the like receptionist type thing and just be like, I took care of the problem, blah, blah, like pass the message on to...
Yeah, and I want to make it obvious that they can see, like, if I got punched, like, I want them to be like, oh, a guy came in who's a bit roughed up, and he said he'd solved the problem for you.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't really.
He didn't do much at all.
So you
I'm playing.
You start heading back after you pop into Elysium, leave the message, and start heading back. Are you heading back to the Haven?
We don't need to speak to Kafka, but, we can do that maybe another time if you like. Like,
No, I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
You can quick chat?
Yeah,
You
we can
sure?
go have a...
You okay? You don't have a thing you gotta do? I'm good. So, Kafka, let's go have a chat.
Okay. You head to the warehouse where the carrion are known to reside. As you go, just very quickly, Chrys, you just dominated a bunch of people in combat, and it was like you didn't even break a sweat, or it wasn't an effort or anything. How are you feeling about that?
It's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah.
But also not that hard. Kind of mixture of like, yeah, that actually went really well, but also I'm kind of not fulfilled.
Not satisfying because it's
That's
a bit
the one.
like it's a bit of an empty one because you're like that was maybe
It
similar
was 4
to
people.
yeah.
But it's like it was 4 people, but
They had a chance,
kind
but
people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And when you get there, you walk in. There's actually someone there
Ooh.
who greets you but doesn't say anything because his mouth is sewn shut.
Oh.
And he kind of waves and points at like a couple of rock seats, kind of granite leftover building parts, and like indicates for you to sit down, and you're going.
Hey, buddy. I don't think we've met before. Was here to speak with Kafka.
And he nods.
Cool. Well, just wait here.
And then he wanders off.
Hey, Chrys. If
Hey,
you
Mac.
tell that guy a joke, how'd you know if he's in stitches or not?
That's wildly inappropriate.
So stitching your mouth together.
Well, maybe he didn't do it.
True. I would ask him, but another time.
Maybe a bit rude.
Hey. A voice comes out of nowhere.
Sense the unseen.
Yep, you can see him. He's just chilling next to you on one of the seats.
Kafka, stop being spooky.
The whole shadow thing's a bit... It's cool, actually. I like it.
Well, it's what we do.
Yeah. Chrys, can you not see him? He's right.
Can you see him? No, I can't see him, Mac.
Okay.
You're a bit rude, Kafka.
Sorry. I was in another room, and Squirrel came to get me.
Oh, is that Squirrel?
I don't believe I've told you about Squirrel before, have I?
You haven't told us, no.
You
Yeah.
haven't.
Squirrel's fine. He's a worker. Message runner, like low rung kind of thing, but he's my personal assistant, I guess you could say.
How's he deliver messages?
What can't you write?
Ah, very clever.
But
Yeah.
if someone has their lips sewn shut, you can't tell anyone what was in the message.
That's true, unless he writes it down. Something to think about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So we're here
text.
for info. That kind of goes without saying. Chrys, sorry.
Well, hi,
after
how you
you.
doing, first of all? Jeez.
Yeah, my mistake.
Hi,
Hi, how you
Chrys.
doing?
How's things?
It's all right. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Been working. Very
Been
busy.
cozy and everyone sat up here.
Oh, yeah. Getting along like a house on fire. There may be no survivors.
Well,
Beat some people up, just like a ninja.
it's pretty cool.
You been,
Well, Mac wanted to ask some questions, and apparently he's inept at
The guy was really strong. For a
he's
kind,
not
you know.
very strong. It's like
well, fair enough.
2. Anyway, that happened.
Yeah.
it was because the sheriff's a bit of a wuss, right? Here.
Yeah. We just
Sheriff's-
went to a meeting with him.
So sheriff's a bit of a wuss, and Mac was like, "Let's go beat up the people that beat up the sheriff or whatever," and then I had to carry the whole fight.
Well, we don't deal with the sheriff, just his bodyguard.
Sheldon,
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
he seems pretty
Yeah.
sensible. Is it you that chats to him or someone?
No, I believe that's Socrates.
Oh,
Dunno.
okay. I don't think I've met them.
Yeah. Well, you know, we all deal with different areas and different things. It's no secret. You'll probably meet them, you know. But I deal with you lot for obvious reasons because of our previous friendship, Chrys. But Socrates is all right. He's you know.
Mellow.
Yeah.
We do.
Also, go on.
We come bearing invitations and news and exciting things. You've heard about the meeting, right? The excitable Kale trying to get everyone together.
Yeah. Heard of it.
Sure. Now, would you be interested in going? I'd like to consider you for an invite.
I mean, you know, yeah. It would. I don't know who we'd send. What are the rules around it? Is it one person being a representative? Is it one person and bodyguard? Is it like, you know?
The rules are hazy, but let's make it two. A speaker and a bodyguard. Why not? Sounds reasonable.
All right.
Oh, I've been put in. I'm helping Kale put the thing together, so. As I say, I would like to extend you a formal invite. In exchange for some help.
All right. Well, put us down. I'll have to talk to them, obviously, but we'll send D-carts and probably Ferret.
Nice. Does Squirrel and Ferret have any issues?
What do you mean?
Like, do those two get on well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're fine.
That's sweet. Cool. Right. Well, that's good to know. Look, we've been busy the last few days, but we're a little bit curious about our neighbor, Roman.
Roman, yeah.
Yeah.
I gave you a lot of information about him, didn't I?
You did, yeah, you did. We know he's pally with another prince from elsewhere and
Yeah.
connected to a point. Any other gossip you've got? Anything?
I mean, we deal with them. You know, we give them information when they ask, all that kind of thing. By the way, I heard you had a ballsed up meeting with them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Freaking clay and breadsticks.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the way to deal with Clay is really simple. You ignore him.
Easier said than done for a few of our negotiators, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Tess and Cass are not great at that.
But it's a work in progress. I guess we may have to mend the relationship one way or another, but any other gossip you've got going on around town right now that you could perhaps, humor me with?
I mean,
I'll make sure you get a nice seat at the table, Nice cushion,
appreciate it.
comfortable.
But it does depend what kind of information you want. Because, being in on that meeting, great. Very good. However,
Yeah, sure.
it's up to you to decide what you want for that information. For that invitation.
Chrys, any burning desires right now? Anything you need to know?
Well, I was gonna ask about Roman being weird, but also,
I mean, weird how?
like acting like he wants to work together and just not even taking it. Like it just looked like he wasn't even thinking about it really. Just
Right.
went.
Well,
I don't know. He seems weird. I don't know much about him. He's new. He's got a mate called Mouse or something.
oh yeah, Mouse. I know Mouse.
Yeah, so was he like not thinking, or do you think he was like being controlled, like mind manipulation? Or is he just a dude that doesn't think much?
That's the question, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen much.
I didn't
of
see
it
from
that.
where I was.
Well, if you like, I can help you with this, but it will be part and parcel with payment because it is information and it is something.
Oh,
Very
I
worthwhile.
have a different question, which might annoy you, Kafka. I'm sorry, might annoy you, Kafka.
All right. Shoot.
So why the Nosferatu forgetting?
Where'd you hear that?
That's a good question.
I shouldn't tease you. I'm sorry, it's mean.
And what? No. What do you know about that?
Well, like Cass told you to write it down.
Oh.
Exactly.
There is someone in the city you can't remember, seemingly.
All right.
Not very
and who's
helpful
that?
for an information broker. Well, it wouldn't be a lot of use me telling you, would it?
Okay.
He's a friend.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Not just you though, because someone else we know forgot about him too.
Nosferatu as well. All the Nosferatu seem to have this issue.
Is,
Bit of a
How many
mental
we met,
block.
though, like, not
is
very
this
many.
why I had a piece of paper with my
Maybe.
handwriting saying, "Why are the Nosferatu forgetting?" And I don't remember why.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Interesting. Well, that solved one burning question that I've had for a while.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
figure
Chrys.
it out? Yeah.
Although you could have just told me, you know.
I know, but well, this is the first time I've seen you since then.
Yeah, you don't write, you don't visit.
Just really busy. Okay. Oh, I can. Oh. Okay. No, maybe I shouldn't tell you. But we're trading, right?
Yeah, we're trading right now.
Yeah,
Would-
yeah.
Look, maybe the Roman thing would help us out. Like, we have
mean-
issues with our neighbors, and
All right, how about this? For that really quite useful piece of information, I will tell you what I know about the front, and it will blow your minds wide open.
if it's something we can use, I am down to be blown open.
All right, Alistair Mouse is Anarch.
Right.
Okay.
So how and why? And
Wait, but like the
Well, he's the
Sheldon
same-
said that that Roman was allowed in town to be like camaraderie.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mouse is Anik? Oh.
Mouse has been around for a little while, and he's one of us. But on the other side of the river, if you get me.
right. Does Roman know about Mouse? I'm assuming not, but I
One of
feel
us, like,
the need to
Nos-
ask.
Here's the second piece of information, which will clear our debt so far. When we talk to the front, when we give them information and when we get requests from them, it goes and comes from Mouse. We don't talk to, and we have no interaction with Roman.
Do you reckon he's like a front man, like a figurehead?
I think that's very, very likely.
Interesting.
And from what we know of Roman, he was never a power player. He was always more of a bootlicker or a yes man. So he had the influence. But I mean, okay, put it this way. if you're an anarch looking to snap up a piece of Camarilla territory, it's probably the best way to go about it.
That sounds like a big mess to be on our doorstep. Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Are you friendly with Mouse, by the way? Like, I need to know who's on whose side here. Or do you just guys that talk sometimes?
I mean, we aren't friends. We don't go to dinner together or anything like that. We're acquaintances. We know of each other.
That'll do. That'll do. Well, that's been interesting. I need to see... I'm going to have a little doodle in my notepad on what we could do with that. Could be fun.
Cost more if you'd like advice from us. But, as I said, on that note, we are now even. My mystery is... Well, our mystery is being solved. Your mystery is being solved.
Sure.
Like, why would... I just... Shooting the breeze. Why would, like... you and another Nosferatu just forget like one person and everything to do with them?
Well, that's what we've been well, not specifically, but we've been trying to figure out who would or could or would have the inclination to make us forget something that we can't remember. Now that I know it's a specific person, I mean, I don't know anything about the person in question, but...
Or what they've done to you.
Or
He hasn't done anything.
what's been done.
Or what they've not done to you, indeed.
So,
Or what they owe you, or what you owe them. But that must be frustrating. Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been productive and nice. Thank you. How you doing for food, by the way?
yeah, we're fine.
Good, good. Gimlet's helping you out.
When necessary, yeah.
Good.
Can't really go to the Oasis, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proprietor doesn't
Right.
really...
Dress.
Yeah, well, she's got problems of her own.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, I guess. No disrespect. It's a bit public. Okay, well, this has been nice.
You heard about it too, eh? Yeah.
Well, the little shindig they had.
Nah.
Go on, give us some. You want to tell us about it? Okay.
Yeah, this isn't a favor. This is gossip.
Oh yeah, gossip. But that's my part and parcel. You want to include that in the invitation deal? I'm down for it. I still have to give you some information.
Is it something I can use, or we could use? Apologies.
Oh yeah, sure.
More information, the better, then.
Kind of want to know because she was being weird with Cass and Tess, right?
I don't trust her. She sounds too pretty. Like,
all right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
fire away, my friend.
The Oasis / Lamia. One piece of information. Is there anywhere else you'd like to know about, which I could maybe impart some gossip or knowledge or anything?
I mean, what's going on up here in Flintbridge? Because there's a lot that we don't really know.
I mean, give me a group of people, give me a person, give me anything along those lines.
How about a very general question? Do you have any information that could really be used against someone to gain leverage or otherwise?
Oh, absolutely. And that I won't even charge you for that. That's just an obvious answer.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I'm feeling like a lucky dip, Chrys. How about you?
Look, I mean, the invitation's like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but a lucky dip, you don't know what you're gonna get.
The information I pass back to you will be appropriately juicy and useful.
this isn't like the time we did the deal and it was like I gave you 2 favors, right?
I'm a man of my words, and I stick to my word.
Okay.
You just
Yeah.
made a bad deal.
It's just really bad deals.
Yeah, okay, so, okay, right, okay, well, Okay, so what if the lucky dip's not very good, though? Is this really going to be good?
That would be
The
lucky.
other one that
That would be
suggested
the
it.
lucky part of it, I believe.
Yeah, but you get to choose. How about you put them in a hat and then we pick one randomly? Then it actually is random.
I mean, if you like, or you could just say, tell me what you know about Nathan Fortune, or whatever.
Who's that?
What?
What?
Yeah. Wait, you haven't met Nathan yet? Okay.
No, there's
Okay.
Nathan.
He's baiting you again.
Oh, just friend. Look, you. Who's? I don't know, why are you giving me questions?
All right, Mac's going to get out his notepad and he's going to write down 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to roll a d10.
Okay. Don't forget, you can also ask him to impart onto you people that haven't been, like you may not know.
That's kind of what I was going for. Like, who has the territory in northern Flintbridge / the Merge? But
Okay.
You want to ask about the locals? I mean, we can do that. But I am currently making a lucky dip, so it's up to you.
well, now I want to know who this Nathan person is.
Sure.
What if he wants you to ask about Nathan? Because Nathan's dull.
No. I stick to my deals. I can guarantee you would like to know about Nathan.
Is Nathan local before we... And that's not the question. That's a question.
I mean, wouldn't you consider anyone in the city local, right?
I'd like to know about our neighbours, but yeah,
I want to
fair
know about
point.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Fine, Nathan. What do you got on Nathan?
Nathan Fortuna. It's a Toreador.
Oh, good to know.
Big in the edge of the maze, but I'm surprised you haven't met him because his territory almost cuts into yours.
What?
In which direction? Which side of the road?
Just the other side of the road. He dips into the maze, and yeah. Got a lot of shop fronts. Got a lot of clubs, bars, pubs. Owns like that really nice section down the maze.
Sounds like a bit of an area date. So what's the juice on him?
Oh no, that's just he's there,
Oh,
and you weren't aware of him.
told you we should have got the lucky dip.
I mean, you wanted the local information. Nathan's local.
I will tell you,
Also,
he's very, very pro-Kine. He likes to protect them, make sure none of them get hurt in his territory.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one gets beaten up tonight.
Mac.
What? I didn't do anything. I got beaten up. So, that's good to know.
So that's one.
That's one.
And there's the Lamia thing, and one other.
All right. I'm doing my lucky dip, okay?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Let me just close my hand. I could take off his hat, shred up a few bits of paper, put it in.
Write the names and etc.
Yeah, write down the names of people he knows. And actually, he'll do it by... Yeah, he'll do it by area, by people he knows already.
Okay.
And we're going to go for... Gorban. Yeah, just for any additional dirt you got on Gorban. Any history, anything we need to know.
Sure. I've got one actually that has a lot to do. Wow, you got so lucky with your lucky dip. I have one that has to do with what we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Our little friend Mouse
Yeah.
was blood bonded to Gorban.
Oh.
Oh.
So he
That
was
is
Gorban's
spicy.
bitch. You both know about blood bonds, right? Talking as
I'll Google
players
it later.
and yeah.
I know a bit.
A little bit.
I'll do more reading, but let's talk about it.
I'll explain it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
People in the chat may not know either. Basically, to get blood bonded, a kindred drinks the blood of another kindred, and they do from a mechanical standpoint, they do some rolls to resist it and etc. And while they're under the blood bond, they can, in scenes, resist it and stuff stuff like that. But it basically makes them into a servant. It kind of it mostly ensures loyalty and all that kind of thing. So it's a bit like being a ghoul, except for a vampire. You have to continually drink their blood. You have to do what they say. You actually want to do what they say. You want to make them happy, make them all that type of thing.
All right then.
And you both, Chrys, you probably not as much, but you probably know the basics of it, and that it's you've probably been told don't drink other kindred's blood, because you don't want to be entranced, as it were, or like blood bonded to someone.
Interesting.
Oh.
So I think that's pretty worthwhile, right?
So
yeah.
Yeah, the front could be a front for Goblin.
I mean, it explains why they're getting on though. As
Yes,
well.
indeed. So that's been very useful. Next time we start with the lucky dip.
Yes, Chrys.
I was just gonna ask if you know, like, what issue Goblin has with the wild super duper.
I mean, that would be additional. I wouldn't be able to tell you about Lamia.
We'll come back to
I
that.
really want to know the Lamia story. Tell me about it.
Oh yeah, Lamia. Let's Lamiamize it up.
All right. So, I take it you both know Clay Fraser.
Were they
Yeah, we know
together?
Clay Fraser.
That would be great.
Yeah, we just spoke about him a bit earlier.
I mean, were past tense.
Nice. I knew Clay was a player. Ah.
Nah. It's not like that. Political.
Oh, sad.
Arranged by outside parties. Betrothal. Engagement.
Really?
Hmm.
How does he feel about that?
Dunno. You know what Clay's like.
Yeah, I better ask him. Make sure he's okay.
I heard he was scouting out possible wedding venues.
Recently, or still, or is he sort of...
Recently.
Oh, spicy. So the wedding's still on?
Oh yeah, they're engaged.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, that's cute.
Not so much fascinating piece of information to be used as a weapon, but a great bit of gossip that, as far as I know, no one but us know.
How do you guys know all this? This is great.
How are we going to break this to Cass? I think he's going to be a bit sad.
I mean, he's pretty mad at her though.
Oh,
true.
Cass doesn't like Lamia.
Her and him seem like a really good match, you know. Both very good at manipulating.
Cass? And Lamia?
No!
Oh.
Clay and Lamia. He pushes buttons. She apparently knows how to mind control people. That's what Cass said anyway.
Well, it's not really mind control, but sure.
It's just really good looks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I shall ponder this.
You can see why the match was made.
True. I wonder... Oh, that's very interesting. Mac just had a realization that he met Clay in a church.
Yep.
I did like that venue. I'll speak to him. I could probably help him plan it somehow. Anyway.
What?
I think it would suit blue flowers. Don't worry. I'm just getting away with myself.
I think he'd need permission.
Yeah, I wouldn't butt in like that, but if the guy's doing it solo, I've heard it can be very, very stressful.
Oh, yeah.
He may need some help. But anyway, that was very useful, thank you.
Happy to help.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, invite coming your way. Very nice, comfortable seat.
Appreciate it. Send the invite and address it to, I believe it was Descartes.
Yeah, Descartes.
Yeah.
Yeah, address it to Descartes.
Oh, is it Socrates?
Socrates.
Socrates, that's the one. I see.
Is it not Socrates? Is that not how you say it, Kappa?
What are you talking about?
Oh,
I mean, obviously, you know, we don't use our actual names. They're code names. Do you really think there's someone called Squirrel?
Maybe he really didn't like his name and legally changed it.
Do you have a code name for me?
No, you're not with us.
Ah, right. Okay, I'll think of one for next time.
The Hat.
Yeah. Oh no.
Mac 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna start jotting down things on my notepad as I start to walk away.
Kafka, as you're like walking away, he shouts out, "What about Mac 10?"
Mac 10, I like that, but it's not quite me.
Oh, wait, what?
What?
So we're organizing the meeting thing,
Yeah.
right? But it's a pain in the ass to go over the city, to be quite honest. Can we I know that some of you guys are sending up messages and stuff. Can we get in on that?
Sure, yeah.
So we can send once we've got everything finalized and whatever.
I'll tell you what. We can start off a very basic. We come to check on you. See if you've got any messages you want sent. We'll organise a drop point, and we'll do it for now, without any requirements on your side, just purely because of the information you have given. Little bonus.
Thanks, Kafka.
I wouldn't do it for just anyone, but then again, the information you've given us has been surprisingly useful.
I'm sure the wedding will also be surprisingly useful.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be great. I wonder what color they'll go. We have the building now. Mac, remember?
Mac's currently nosing his notepad,
he's
mac and cheese, Mac the Hat. No, that's not right.
Well,
What was that, Chrys?
We have the lawyer's office now that folks can
We do.
leave messages there, right?
We do.
Okay.
All right. Another one.
So
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah, you rented it out recently, yeah?
Yeah. Well, okay.
We did indeed, with money that someone earned during a intense negotiation.
Yeah, Kel gave it to you.
Yeah, he did. Nice guy. I like him.
Yeah, weird, but sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense though when you think about it. Yeah, that's good. Does he dish out money very often like that? How well off is he? Or do I need a favor for that?
You can't go and ask for more money.
Let me ask you a question that will put it in perspective. Do you
Sure.
sometimes throw away a penny? Or
Yeah.
or chuck a penny to a bum?
Always when I see a bum,
Yeah. There you
throw
go.
a penny at it.
So what Kale just did for you was throw a penny at a bum.
Nice. Wonder how far it bounced. Cool.
I understand, Kafka.
Yeah.
Well, messages can go there if you need us, or
Yeah.
if you want a message.
We'll come and check at midnight. Well, I'll send Squirrel around to check at midnight.
Sounds good.
So just address it, who it needs to go to, whereabouts, and we'll take the messages.
Nice. Cheers.
And bring the replies, of course, obviously.
Mac the detective. Detective Mac. Nah, I'm gonna work on this. Peace be with you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
I'm working on my outros for my new... Yeah, see ya.
And as you walk back, I'm sure there will be a lot of conversation between Mac and Chrys, but I think we'll save that for another time.
In between randomly shouting out, Mac and tortillas.
Macintosh.
Macintosh. Who's Tosh? That's the question.
And
yeah.
we fade out on Mac talking to herself while Chrys is just like, oh, God.
I think
Okay.
we are all here. Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Q&A, the after part of, basically this is going to come up after the Snackshot. They're going to be one video together. So, hello. We have everyone here ready to talk about what you just saw, and also episode 10, because it all combines together in this really interesting amalgamation. For everyone's information, the, song currently playing is one of Tess's themes. It is the violin, the vulnerable and resilient. It's a great song.
And we're doing a Q&A, right? So people can ask questions?
Yes, and we're doing Q&A so people can ask questions in the chat, and also I feel like some of my players have questions for me.
Most of them are what the fuck?
Just a question. I'm gonna start off with the first question. Sheepy, how much do you want to die?
Not at all.
Well,
However,
that answers Doomsday's question.
Hey, how pissed off are people?
Like, how much of a death wish do you have? And like,
so, would you like to know something interesting about this whole setup and everything?
is it going to frustrate me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
This was planned before the start of the campaign.
That they were going to be married, or that
Clay and Lamia were engaged starting off the campaign.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
God damn it. How do you make the best character and the worst character married to each other?
Well, so I design, as I've said before, I design some of my NPCs with specific characters in mind.
Wait. When you said best character, you meant Clay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should checking Fandy.
I don't know who you're talking about because they both fucking suck.
Well, I know that now.
Honestly, on Monday, Hydra and I were sat DMing each other, like trying to keep the straightest faces whilst you guys went to see Lamia. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, this is really interesting.
And I had my eyes on those two as well while we were doing the Lamia club scene. And I was looking for them to just reacting to like her give you a massage and you know, all
There's a few little quirks of the lip, but we were like, stoic.
You did very well. So I guess seeing as we literally just did the you know, everyone just saw the Snackshots, which was the wonderful Hydra and Tash coming in to do a duo, which I think went really well. We should talk first about the Elysium.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good.
Did you enjoy that?
That was so well done.
Yeah.
That was really funny to me because I've spent so much time playing vampire, and all the people in Elysiums are always bellends.
Yeah.
They're always the worst. They're always so irritating, and I just enjoy the fact that you added the simple addition of stupid to irritating was very funny to me.
Well, it's like, then he's not that irritating. I want to put out. I'd say like he's endearing in a weird way, in like a sad way.
Like, he's pitiable.
Because like I was talking with this about Hydra. Like Mac is someone who's very uncaring to people in general. You know, like when he forms a friendship bond, he's more caring, but he tends to be very like, you know, just like whatever. And even Mac was feeling like, oh, you poor baby, like God.
Chrys was not quite that compassionate.
Yeah.
Part of that was being manipulative to a point.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it
yeah,
was
totally.
like, oh, I can use this, but
Yeah,
also
He really fell from the stupid tree and hit every branch on the way
there was
down.
a
Like
bit
it's
of like,
just.
Imagine though being dropped, like you've just been made, you're quite new, and like, oh, you're the sheriff of a city.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Everyone's just being on fire.
Because, like, the Camarilla abandoned the city. The only reason they left anyone here is because it's like, we need to seem to be... So they just picked some, you know, random douchebag who doesn't know anything, who's expendable, and just went, you're the sheriff, congratulations, bye! So yeah, that's why all that happened. And then, like, I was really proud of myself for preparing them for Mac having the proper meeting and and
Chrys.
Chrys having the, like just, I'm just waiting with the goon. And then like halfway through, I think it was about when Tash realized, I'm having the real meeting. Like, this is the
I was
actual...
like, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I was very happy with my end of the stick, though, because Mac is the more manipulative of the two.
Yeah.
I don't think Tash would have took pity on him, but sorry, Chrys.
Well, I think she would have just been dismissive. Like, she would have...
Maybe.
She'd have just been like, this dude's useless.
Apologies, I shouldn't assume. But I think Mac would have been the more manipulative of the two, and he has several thoughts on these matters.
Yeah, definitely.
And has done his first little odd job for them. Kind of.
Yeah. And then we have Sheldon. Did you also notice that the names do not match up to the characters?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have Sterling Hardcastle, the sheriff, who's a useless dick and has a really cool name. And then you have Sheldon Langdon, who seems a lot more competent and maybe a bit put upon.
There was some
I think warning bells went up for Josh at one specific point. Because he did when we were doing the reaction on Vandy's channel where Vandy was watching, just because we were, like, all three of us, me, Hydra, and Tash, wanted to see her facial reaction when we got to the Lamia stuff, which we'll get to momentarily. But yeah, like there was a bit in there, and I may DM Josh and say which bit it was, but I think he went, oh god, at a certain part, and he was like, I know what this is.
Yeah, we
Well,
I think I know the
as
part
well.
you mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tash.
I DM Sheepy as well, in a lot of caps.
Would Nathan be added to the map soon? Yes, Nathan has been added to the map. Actually, I can probably do that now.
It's kind of between us and Kale. A bit.
Yeah, I do have a new map, which includes
new map
Nathan.
time.
It is on the notes
I
drive.
knew we were being baited into finding out about Nathan. Like, we got a little tidbit, but I knew.
I mean, you
Kafka
got an
was,
entirely new, right on your doorstep faction, which you just hadn't met. You just hadn't gone that way.
Exactly.
You know, you kept taking the main roads, and you know, and so like there was never a point where you really would have found out about Nathan. So I was just like, well, he's just gonna be there doing things.
Don't beat up his kind.
Kind.
Chrys. Kind. Yeah.
I'm wondering what you were thinking about. What your plan was exactly, Hydra, with the beating of the kids.
I am very curious about your question. I'd like to know some theories from chat, if you don't mind. Just some speculation as to what and why Mac did that.
Well, my initial theory that I had was you were going to go and find them so you could hire them and scare him more. But you said no to that.
It'd be like a siege. They just siege Elysium.
Just have these like 17-year-olds drinking white lightning out the front of Elysium.
And they can never leave.
Oh my god!
Don't make eye contact with them.
Yeah,
freaking White Claws, like. Oh god!
I don't like giving too much away, but I did drop. I think if you watch it again with like a couple, like just thinking like, what's he doing? I try and drop a couple clues, but someone has guessed it correctly. And
I think there were a couple of motivations in that. There wasn't a sole one.
It's deeper perhaps than it looks, but perhaps what will primarily come across was him trying to do something nice for Chrys. After a conversation in the episode,
we had an extended conversation about motivations and interests.
It perhaps is a little deeper than that, but that is Mac's paternal side.
Yeah,
best daddy you.
Did you not catch that line?
I didn't hear that line, Sheepy, but no.
Now
suspicions confirmed.
Suspicions pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what Sheldon is.
Yeah. And it's not like it's one of those things where it's not like, you know, you can't hide these things from people who know the lore of vampire. And I've played with you enough to know that it's not going to bleed into your character. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy with
Cass
you knowing.
probably wouldn't know.
No, probably not. But he is getting more resources, so some things will start to blossom for him as he expands his library and builds up his research abilities and so on. So that's going to be interesting.
I got a library.
Yeah, you do. So yeah, I don't think we need to spend too much time on Elysium because it was mostly like fun, really. It wasn't. There's a little bit of info and stuff. Like one of the things I've mentioned to Hydra, which we can all talk about, is the fact that there is records in the Elysium.
Yeah.
If you can access them. Like Mac, I gave Mac I gave Hydra a few ideas for what he might do to access the.
Yeah, I've got
records.
all the ideas.
Yeah.
Cry or something with my name in it, and I'll just give him a very brief answer before letting everyone else be awesome. I don't know how to make a great Malkavian, but to make Mac, if you like him or hate him currently. I only knew a couple sentences about Malkavians and then tried and just ended up with the most complex bloody character that I could come up with. And it all makes sense, but no one has a clue what Mac is. So, but it all makes sense in my head.
I'll say like take an idea, take a theme for a Malkavian. And then make it unique, not the standard I'm just crazy. Give the crazy some direction.
Yeah. There are reasons to maybe. Yeah, there are reasons to everything he does, and if he's a bit weird in a certain situation, there's reasons as to why. He's not less necessarily a memey idiot. He is, and a lot of it. Maybe a lot of it comes to his backstory, but he's currently evolving. But it's just a layered character that looks fairly simple, but if he looks unpredictable, it's just because he's got more going on than appears.
Well, what I really like about what Hydra does is that he's weird in some situations and you don't know why, but then beyond that, he just doesn't tell you, which is like the Malkavian bit. He's just like, I'm being weird in this situation. You're never going to find out why, but there you go.
Yeah. There may be some things eventually that might shed some light on him, but who knows? Like it depends what's where in the game, and if we ever. I'm sure I have some landmines waiting to explode, but
you all do.
We all do. For now, I'm just happy, just blowing up all of Vandy's. So
we'll get there. We'll get there.
On that note, I'm just going to mute myself now, and I love you all. But I will be here lurking.
Okay. A question for Jersh. What next step or steps in building Gravestone Cult?
Well,
he's already made some moves.
Unsurprisingly, probably you've already seen him make some more steps. You might not realize it, but you have. And I think what I would really love to do for the cult is I mentioned this to Vandy in and out of character, where we have this fun cult meeting where I try and convince everyone that Tess is an oracle so that they can speak to loved ones and such and get all manipulative that way. But in reality, the next step that I might do in a snack shot, I might do in game, is collect a group of people influential in the city or otherwise who are susceptible / interested in the story of Gravestone and interested in the possible advantages that being in a Mason-esque cult can give you. That's the next step.
And I'm looking forward to it, although I may have derailed things slightly with the reveals, but, I mean...
No, actually, you know what? I think with those reveals, you've actually strengthened her resolve to maybe, just fucking do a cult. It's fine.
You know what? Today we're gonna do a cult.
Someone's gonna
let's
love
just
me.
do a cult.
Burn the city. Burn it all.
So yeah, so that was the Elysium meeting. I don't really think we need to go too much into the fight.
No, I think everything's been said on that.
I think the only thing that I haven't mentioned that we talked about afterwards is it does give some insight into Chrys.
Chrys is a fucking badass.
Chrys is a
Yeah,
fucking
man.
badass, but she is also, like, if you think back, like, she refused to get involved with the Mac fight in the bar, the Irish bar. Like, there's been multiple instances, and the bit with Aiden when, like, those guys were there and she didn't immediately jump in. Like, she's not enthusiastic to fight at the moment. And I don't know if you guys caught all of her Sire backstory, but when you could, like, consider that since she got her ass kicked and turned, she hasn't actually been in a fight until this snapshot.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like,
Which is awesome, because now she's been in a fight.
there's a really interesting mix of super over egotistically confident to the point where she doesn't want to fight humans because she's scared that she'll just outright kill them accidentally, but also insecure because she got beaten when she was super confident, so she's hesitant to fight people, which I think is really interesting.
Tash, like,
Mm-hmm.
And that's been
what was going through your
burn.
mind when you were like, okay, this is the fight I'm gonna start? Like, what made it this fight and not any of the others?
Mac is shit.
He was getting beaten up. What can I say?
Mac was getting slapped around a little bit. There was 4 of them. He clearly can't handle himself.
Just weak.
That was mean. I'm sorry. Well, we
It's
thought
true.
It's all
we
right,
thought
man.
a little bit more about it afterwards. I'm like, that actually makes like lots of sense.
Yeah.
And I've been playing that way, but not meaning to.
Not like consciously.
But every time there's been like mention of Aiden, I'm like, I really don't want to kill him. I don't know if I could be the guy that I need to be in the future. So I think it's really interesting, and that's gonna be fun for Sheepy to poke.
Yep.
We got some depth on Chrys today. Like from between the fight and the early conversation, there was a lot of depth between and behind the lines.
And we got a name reveal.
Full name reveal.
Yeah.
Chrysanthia Hart.
Xanthia Hart.
That's a beautiful name.
Oh, she hates it.
So,
Nice.
for a little backstory, on the name, I believe me and Tash were deciding, like, we were talking over, like, different names for her character, and we were both kind of, like, enthusiastic of the idea of, like, kind of typically male name for her, but changed slightly. And we went with Chrys, with, like, a Y instead of an I. And we're talking about, like, maybe we can make her actual name really, like, hippie, cutesy, kind of, like, just contrast her character. And so we went with,
Chrysanthia.
I think you thought of Chrysanthia, and I pushed the heart side of things.
Yeah, it was like chrysanthemum. It's such
Yeah.
a beautiful flower.
Like a flower.
Fuck
Yeah,
off, Chris.
What a wonderful phrase.
Also, it gives her a bit more of a grandma name, Anthea, which it just amuses me. And so yeah, I mean, I guess we may as well move on to the meeting with the carrion.
The info dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not really much to say about Nathan Fortuna. good news for Vandy. More Toreadors to have interaction with.
Yeah. So many
Mm.
freaking
Yeah, and if he
Toreador.
protects humans, actually, that's pretty interesting
Yeah.
to Tess because Tess doesn't want to kill anyone.
Yes, just take
So-
advantage of them.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
Keep them alive,
Gotta have a
but
line
they're
somewhere.
useful.
Truth.
But yeah, like Nathan Fortuna will come up more, probably. But for now, he hasn't been doing anything overt, and you guys haven't like wandered into him, so he just hasn't turned up. Also, just because I said I would, and I it's not like spoilers or anything. It's just an interesting thing. The names of the carrion, you have squirrel, rat, terrier, weasel, ferret, and the brokers are called Kafka, Chomsky, Socrates, Bacon, Marx, Descartes, and Plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
good names.
Yeah.
Good names.
Plates is Plato, but some of them are like
They're good.
Like- Marx is spelled the name Mark with an S on the end. Like that type of thing.
Oh, and I'm sorry for the Stitches pun, but you're
Yeah,
welcome.
Because she's
But
the worst.
we found out who Squirrel is.
And that was squirrel.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that. That was kind of like, oh, there he is.
Sorry for just ousting Cass, but it made
Yeah.
sense for Chrys to just say it.
Yeah.
Why?
Kafka's
Well,
my
because-
bro.
Yeah, and also because you didn't tell them not to.
Yeah.
But they still don't know it's actually you.
Hmm.
They just know it's someone. We never gave them the name. So that's
Mm.
something. I mean, Tash did it, not me.
Well, I've known Kafka longer than I've known Cass, okay? So
Fair. Fair.
And we had the oh yeah, by the way, I was very impressed with you guys picking up the connection between all of the runners and Mouse.
I thought about it, but
Because that was something which I thought, like, I guess when you watch it, it's a lot more connected because you don't, but yeah, like Mouse obviously was connected with this group at some point. And something must have happened, and we found out about, they were like, how much does that put into context or like explode the entire fucking situation, that Mac had a choice of what information he wanted, chose it randomly, and it was Gorban. And the juiciest piece of information is that Mouse is blood bonded to Gorban.
Oh man, I mean, so the thing is, that's the Malkavianist thing ever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, I was starting to think down that line, and having confirmation is just so nice, just
Yeah.
so useful.
Yeah, it gives
It's,
it gives you so many options, because like the front are a faction which you guys have been much more interested in wiping out compared to the Old Guard. But when you also consider the Old Guard's like stance on everything, they like, it could end up with you guys basically like getting, you could be like, hey, these guys are anarchs actually, like, put that out publicly, and then Gorban either has to back them up, like the front, or distance himself. And
Yeah.
like, you guys can probably guess, with you and the Old Guard together, like, you can fucking destroy the front.
One thing
Yes.
that perhaps puts it in a bit of extra perspective is there was the pact along the river, sort of Anarchs one side,
Yeah.
and Camarilla on the other, and this is the first attempt to break that pact.
It is, yeah. And
So
with
it's even more insulting.
Yeah, with the, and because they didn't do it openly, they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And-
pretending to be someone else and like lying and manipulating your way into doing that. That's even more insulting to the Camarilla.
Welcome.
As,
to
Roman
the-
like,
only
in
got
terms of
in.
Meta.
Roman only got in because he was like, yeah, I'm friends with the prince, and I'll definitely go do some Camarilla
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Ventru. Anarch Venture, yeah. Gorbin's an ass.
Damn, dude.
And obviously, it means that there is stuff for you to do if you want before the meeting, like, you know,
Murder.
there's stuff with the front, there's stuff with Gorbin, you know, like, depending on how you want to play it, it could go a whole load of different ways. So that's kind of, you know,
Pavlov as well. Like now we have a bit better lead there as well. There's all sorts. Which
there's
was
a lot of
Clash's
individual.
Sire.
There's a lot of individual stuff for you to do. I wasn't actually planning on giving you the again. This is like sandbox stuff. I wasn't planning on giving you the Gorbin information or necessarily the mouse information. It's just, you know, that's the stuff you chose.
It's what we asked. So like, I think we got 2 dumps on Roman, like 2 bits of info, because he'd already told us about him. But then we came there today being like, we want more.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting even more because of Gorbin. So we kind of just pushed all the right buttons today.
Yeah, definitely.
Which was nice.
And yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's not Sunkist linked, but were the rumors about Cheapy running a Dark Heresy campaign soon correct? It wasn't Dark Heresy. I'm running a Black Crusade campaign on Enter Elysium's channel. It's tied in with the Chaos, so that might have been what you're thinking of. And I have run a Dark Heresy or campaign or 2 before, so it might be those possibly. Interestingly enough, Andy was in one of them.
I was. It was my first time playing Dark Heresy.
First time being GM'd by Sheepy as well.
It was.
Weirdly, she came back. I don't know why.
And I came back. For more pain.
We should probably talk about that now.
Well, there was one other thing where I was like, it'd be interesting to talk about, but I think my brain has forgotten it. I may need to go over the carrion meeting. I'm sure there was something else. Maybe not.
No, I think we should just
take
move on.
notes.
Yeah.
Because I think I took notes for myself, but not. I took them out of the group notes.
Yeah, we took them out. Tash was like, maybe I should take the notes on the snack shot out so that Vandy can't see all of the, you know, we both of you can't see it, like for the reveal. So.
Oh, and carrying talk to the front, it goes to and from mouse.
Yeah.
Which,
that
here's their
will have been
talking
it.
point.
Oh, yeah, of course. So there's one more thing we should talk about before we talk about Lamia, but this is about Clay. Does this change anyone's opinion at all on Clay and that meeting you had with the front?
I'd like to throw a comment in, but I'm going to wait a little while.
Yeah. Me and Tash and Hydra have talked about this a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sorry.
I hadn't really considered that, but he's with the Lamia, and he was disrupting our talks with basically an anarch. So I guess they're all super Camarilla? I don't know what conclusion to draw from that.
Well, I mean, like, the most obvious thing is that you were about to either ally or like, absorb an anarch front faction.
Lamia gave a bit of an insight into if you go back.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it.
If he does something, it usually benefits you and maybe him as well. But he always has a reason. So our Lord and Savior confirmed.
Maybe then Lamia made him do it.
Possibly.
We just have to know like who also would benefit.
I mean, like the most basic of information is like if you would have had absorbed them, you would have had spies in your own faction.
I mean, we were already super sus.
Oh yeah, totally.
Of Mouse, so we probably would have weaseled him out eventually.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't know the information about the rest of the members, whether they're anarchs or whether they have no idea. You know, this is why a reveal is interesting. If you guys do choose to go down that path, you might be able to convert some of the front, which is a plan.
Oh yeah, that's totally what Cass's next plan is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like how you approach that will be really interesting. Because you can like force Corbin's hand or like manipulate him into committing to a fight. Like there's a whole load of interesting things that I'm sure you guys have thought of. But it basically means like if you'd have allied with them, you'd have been allied with the Anarchs, and if it came out, everyone would have been like, bruh, why are you attaching yourselves to Anarchs encroaching on Camarilla territory? And like there's a whole load of implications there that makes it so messy to hook up with the front.
But
So thanks, Clay.
this calls into question why he took
You did
the red
not just
stick.
say that, Tash.
This throws Mac's theory off that maybe he doesn't have a crush on Tess. Maybe it's both.
I mean, like that's the thing that Lamia said, right?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know why he does something. Sometimes, and most often, it ends up benefiting him, and also it generally works out for you as well, even if it pisses you off at the time.
You know what? When she was mentioning that, I was like, where on earth does she get this insight into him?
Well, let's go into it, shall we? Vandy, how you doing? You know I love you, right?
Very one-sided love right now, Sheepy. Oh man.
I know.
Oh, that was painful.
Very quickly, let me just answer a couple of questions, just so that I get them out of the way.
Go
Important
for it.
thing we have to know: are Clay and Lamia open to swinging? Asking for Tess. I'm not going to answer that. They've got to find out in character. Sheepy, will the coterie buy a car at some point? I doubt it, because Tess is an ex-car thief and her mum runs a chop shop, so
Probably just steal one.
probably just steal one if they want one. But yeah, but
Yeah.
maybe. Who knows? I actually hope that me Moriarty turns Anarch in the future. Who's me Moriarty? Oh. So yes, sorry. Vandy. How did you feel
What can
about
I say that hasn't been screamed into the abyss already? It makes a lot of sense. Actually. When you think about it.
Yeah. They're both influential. They both have a small territory, but are like fairly large players in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Both quite powerful in their own ways.
Yeah, and they go about it in very different ways, right? Where Lamia has a home base that she can kind of work from as a, quote, neutral territory.
Yeah.
But in the end, Clay is doing things essentially for himself at the end of the day.
As a neutral
And so is
party.
Lamia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as a neutral party. So these two people who are acting as neutral parties are together. Like, it's just, fuck.
Now, the next question is did they arrange this marriage? This
Marriage?
engagement?
That I don't know, because it seemed like they were, like, when he left, he was obviously, he can kind of put on whatever face he wants, but Lamia did seem off.
Yeah.
So.
And she glomped
It's a
onto
question
Tess
of.
very quickly. She glomped onto Tess very quickly.
Yeah, which, is something that I could imagine she would do whether or not, she was in a committed relationship, because she's a Toreador and whatever, like the whole
and for
idea is
different
manipulation.
and varying reasons, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very curious. Like, my theory right now is that the Camarilla have something to do with Lamia and Clay's getting together and are using them somehow to do something, and they don't want to be together because they're like, well, fuck this. And this is just like, I'm just kind of spinning this off right now, it's hard to tell because Lamia's good at manipulation, Clay is good at manipulation, And when you put two people who are very good manipulators together, you have no idea what's going to come from it.
Oh yeah. It's
So
like so obviously Lamia was created as a twofold. Lamia was created for Tess as a romantic toreador female, you know, like there's so much relatability between those two. But there's also like the attraction and the camaraderie and etc. And then the second part was to entrance Cassius and piss him off.
Well, she succeeded in both of those.
Yes.
So, needless to say, it's going to be a very interesting next meeting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And you know, like obviously, as I've said, I think before the Q&A, before we went recording and everything, this engagement was planned at the start of the campaign. I was pretty confident of how things would go.
Did they go the way that you wanted them to, or that you imagined they would?
Not exactly, not in all cases. But the main one was basically everyone would dislike Clay to a certain extent because he is likably dislikable. There's something about Clay that is just aggravating, and I think it's the fact that nothing gets to him, and he's so self-assured because he knows that he gets to people. You know, he knows that he pisses them off. He knows what he's doing, but he's so nice and genial about it, and he's just he's basically the physical vampire embodiment of not touching, can't get mad.
I'm not touching.
That does sound like he would say that.
Yeah. You know, like the stunt with the breadsticks. You know, the Bon Appetit comment. You know, even the meeting. Even the meeting in the Oasis. He's very clearly aware that you both dislike to hate him, but he can still smile and legitimately say, it's really nice to meet you guys. You know, really nice to see you again. And that's massively frustrating. So that's part of the reason why I love Clay. And you know, he's a great character, and he's really good to throw into the players every now and then and just be like,
get fucked.
Ditto.
He's a real wild card, honestly.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He is like, because here's a really interesting piece of trivia. I made this character for an intellectual exercise. And I actually showed the character to Josh and to EE, and I was actually pushing the character on EE a little bit when he wasn't sure what he wanted to do with the role for it. I was like, hey, try this character. This character's fun. Which is basically like a brouhaha shit stirrer, is what I called it. It's basically everything is geared around like inciting anger and making people fight each other, but you just can't catch him. You can't, you know, he's so fast, he's so dodgy. Like everything he is geared towards just getting away from danger. He has no combat abilities really. Aside from celerity being strong and you know, and he is like a big threat politically, because you know he's like fairly popular and a lot of people know him, and you know a lot of people need him to do things, and you know all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, it's really interesting. But yes, the Lamia stuff. I mean, it's gonna be really intriguing to see where Tess goes, because I think as time goes on, she's such an interesting mix of what's ambition and passion. She would make an amazing diplomat. She'd make an amazing spy. She'd make an amazing Lamia, aside from the fact that she has that passion, and it comes out in instances where like she's meeting with the front and she just loses it on Clay, and you know it like ruins the meeting.
Yeah.
Which
Lamia would make a good villain, to be honest. I'm thinking about that now.
Now? Not
Wait,
when she like
wait, have
mind
you-
controlled Cassius.
have you saw?
Listen, there might have been a few, you know, rose tinted glasses on for Vandy, okay?
Well, and Tess.
And Tess, but like, yeah.
Have
The
you
moment she was
Hmm.
introduced.
Have
the
you
very
swung over
moment,
to Team Clay?
maybe.
Have I swung over to which team? Sorry?
Team Clay.
No, I'm not. I'm team fucking. No, I'm team the Memorie. No,
do you have a,
fuck
do you have a
Team
crush on
Clay.
him? Roll willpower.
Yo, actually though, but like hearing that both of them are engaged, I think like that would also any kind of thought that Tess would have had is like, oh, am I just like into him kind of thing? Because Lamia asked that too, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
And I was like, God, no, God,
Like,
no, absolutely not.
You were very fixated on Clay questions, and wait, like I really don't want to be like I'm, you know, blowing my own horn, but did you notice that she was like, you know, are you interested? Do you have a bit of a fixation? Do you have a little bit of a crush? And you were like, no, and you kind of, you know, you laughed it off, and then you were kind of thinking about it, and she was like, oh, good, because I'd hate to be jealous.
Yeah, and I thought,
Wait.
I thought.
You thought she meant you, but now did she?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wow, sheepy.
And there was
I
Oh honey.
hate that so much.
there was the instance where you asked if she had if you asked if like in the past they had
They
been
were a thing. Were you a thing?
Yeah, you were like, were you a thing? And she said, we were not a thing. Like very specifically using the past tense, being like, no, we weren't a thing.
Oh.
So she told
Well,
the truth. She told the truth, so I didn't have to tell you that she was technically
This
lying.
bitch.
Tess doesn't have daddy issues anymore. She's just got issues.
Yeah, it's just issues, man. God damn it.
But
Is,
yeah,
like-
you know, like it's just it's so fun to throw curveballs at your players, and this is something that I've been planning since before, like since the characters were created. And I started making all the NPCs. I've got these for all of you, by the way, so keep your guard up.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, cool.
Anything
Thanks.
you love or
Great.
care about in this game, Clay will be taken away from me. Mark my words.
Oh yeah.
Thank fuck.
He'll die.
Thank fuck.
But you
I
see-
hope
Mac-
he dies.
You see,
Yeah.
like the like the current state we're in at the moment is Mac likes Clay for the most part.
I think
Chris-
he's useful.
yeah.
And yeah, for
Chris
that.
is neutral, and Cassius and Tess hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Now the aim as a GM, of course, now is to completely switch those opinions.
Or not.
So there'll be a point where Tess is like, oh my god, Clay is like the classical prince who comes to save the day, and Cassius will be like, he's the older brother I always wanted, and Mac will be like, he killed my father. You know,
Yeah, if he gives me a good solid. Although if he does, I'll just be like, wow, my father must have been a dick.
well, you know, like there are ways and
I'm
ways
sure.
of getting to Mac.
Yeah, I'm sure there will.
Yeah.
But you don't have to rush into that because I'm quite enjoying myself.
But like Tess doesn't have daddy issues; she just has sheepy issues now.
Yeah.
I've
Thank
been
you,
having
Mushroom.
sheepy issues. God damn. Oh man.
Oh, should we just change the one of my emotes to just Vandy in this get up?
Oh my god. Fucking hate. Oh man.
Change the hair
I'm-
color.
I'm legit fascinated though how you're gonna roll with this, Vandy. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna.
like I'm fascinated to see what you do with Tess. Like,
I
I'm all
am
up in
too,
there.
because I don't really know how it's gonna go. To be honest, I
Yeah.
think part
It's gonna. It's gonna depend on interactions. I think in the moment, it's gonna be because that's how Tess is. She's very impulsive and in the moment and passionate. So
I've tried to think about like how I would react to certain things, but I just, when you're playing the character, like for me, if I try to plan it out too much, it's never going to go the way that I expect. Like if I'm playing the character, I'm in the mindset of the character and therefore I'm more reactive. And if I force something, it's not going to feel natural or it's not going to feel right. So
it is worth thinking about some things, like the things that your characters could be planning and plotting and stuff, but ultimately when you get into a moment, all that gets thrown out the window. You know, it's just like, oh god, no, this makes so much more sense in character, this makes so much more sense for everything that's been building up, and etc. And things can just switch.
As you say, the presentation changes things. If it's like Chrys breaking it to you gently, or
Mac
if
blurting
it might
it out.
be Mac giving you a wedding invite.
It's gossip.
fuck.
Because if you think about like how our characters haven't actually seen Tess and Cass interact with Lamia, we've not met
No,
her yet,
You have very there's
so we don't really know.
And Tess kind of plays off the attraction and the interest in
exactly.
in like a group meeting thing.
Mhm.
And also it's gonna add a really interesting dynamic with Cass and Tess now, because Cass already wanted to talk to Tess about her, like, flirting, etc. with Lamia.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically gonna be like older brother being like, I did tell you not to get too attached because this woman was dangerous, or
I think I need to go back to my mom's garage and fix the painting on the car that I did.
I was
With a
saying, we were chatting
sledgehammer.
about it, and I was like, she's either gonna burn the car down, repaint the car, and buy a lot of ice cream, or
But you
it's gonna
realise
be I have to
you've-
crash
you've-
the wedding.
You've both committed to more social time with Lamia.
Which is honestly, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because, like, I still, like, even after knowing this information, that would actually make me want to go back and now use that to my advantage. Like, use my position of, oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm totally into you kind of thing. But now I'm not going to say anything.
It has a new bent, it has a new turn, and it's
I'd strongly suggest watching the Lamia scene, the last one back again, because you might. There are different ways to view Lamia currently. I have a different view as Hydra, anyway.
And also, like, if you're interested in it, like, I layered some stuff in the original Lamia scene where she's, there's a few little subtle things, but with the first time you met Lamia, and then the next meeting after Clay had his meeting and he came downstairs. I think Clay said a couple of things which were a little bit of a nod as well, if I remember correctly. So. Do you remember he was like, I don't come here to feed, I wouldn't want to,
Run impose on the lady, yeah.
Such a gentleman.
Pretty sure he called her the fairest maiden in the land or some shit like that.
Yep.
True that.
He was totally just like pretty well fawning over her, and I was like, okay, all right, buddy.
I'm pretty sure that Tess was like thinking that he was just trying to aggravate her. Which may not be true. Oh god, I'm such a dick. Wow.
I'm thinking about it now, and that interaction would have been so different if I'd known.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, I have an excellent
How would
idea.
it have been different? Like, what would you have done?
Vandy, I'm gonna DM you.
Okay.
So, that's the snack shot. And just we'll go over episode 10 very quickly, which is the meetings with Talia, Calig, and Gorban. Seeing as two plotters are plotting, let's start with Gorban. Does anyone want to ask questions or make statements in any of the people?
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, Mac.
Sorry, I'm just messaging.
Oh
Josh
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
You guys
we'll-
go ahead.
It's why we started with Gorban. Hydra, do you want to explain why you got your penis out?
Yeah, so when I initially was like, hey guys, look over there, I was just going to cloak of shadows and stay there and
Oh,
be
yeah,
like,
I know.
I'm gone. I'm not
Yeah.
here anymore. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Just carry on. I would have said that as well. But obviously no one looked away because, they're not 12.
They're like
So I was like, fine, I just need to go around the corner and get the ugly guy to just look away for like 5 seconds, and then poof, I'm gone, and he'll go looking for me, and then I can go and listen to the meeting at least,
Yeah.
or just have a snoop around. Like either would have been fine.
Oh yeah.
He wouldn't break eye contact, and he wouldn't leave me alone. So I did the old classic: I'll go for a piss.
Yeah.
And he followed me, so I was like, right, well, clearly, if I flop it out, he'll look away because that's what guys tend to do.
Yeah.
But in VTM, and apparently my penis can cast Awe as Mac, so
Oh my
he
God.
maintained a strong eye contact, and I offered to let him hold it because it was too heavy. He still said yes, and by then Mac was like, I'm fucking done.
I
and
think
just go-
Hydra was also like, I'm fucking done. I can't go any further.
that was like by then Mac would have just put both hands up in the air and be like, what does it take to make you move? Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you? Even by Mac's standards, that guy was like broken.
Well, see, the thing is like, there are no considerations for him aside from his orders.
Yeah. Oh, I
And-
get that.
Yeah, and like it must have become more and more apparent as time went on. But it was literally like he was told to keep an eye on Mac, so he keeps an eye on Mac until it's all done, and he doesn't have to keep an eye on Mac anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why he was turned and picked as a mercenary by Vassia.
So that was pretty much my scene.
Well, which
That's about-
technically, I don't think either Chrys or Tash picked this up, but might make him her brother, Vampire Blood.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Probably.
I've got loads of Merc Bros, which
possibly. It depends how he does it.
And we know who got all the smarts.
yep. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
Is all I'll say, unless
Yeah.
Sheepy wants to continue.
No. That's
Stop.
good.
It's interesting. It's something you mentioned to me though. Like, it's interesting that if Vassia is turning folks to be mercs for people,
Soldiers and
soldiers and bodyguards, and like, why was Chrys turned?
Yeah.
And why has she been left to her own devices pretty much this
because
whole time instead of being utilized?
Yeah, surely if he's turning soldiers, a martial artist who's actually incredibly strong would be the first choice to turn into a soldier. And
So it's
then-
interesting.
Well, the other question is like why turn you into a kindred?
Exactly.
Like he could have just killed you.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I've
And there's
got my
a
theory.
question in chat. Was Chrys meant to be a merc? Well, I think we kind of just answered that. We're not sure.
No.
But there are a lot of questions there. Why hasn't Mac gone home yet? I believe he has now. He headed to the cinema, the theatre. Let's call it cinema. at
I
the end
didn't
of
in the end.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. Did?
I'm pretty
Maybe.
sure. Like you decided.
Oh,
right
at the end of
you
one
were-
of the sessions, I think I slept there. Maybe.
You went back to sleep there at the end of episode 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, was that the end of the last one? Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm so confused now.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I think I did.
If Vassia likes Cyclops, then other Russian gangrel must be like Batman. Oh, that was not Vlad was the one who left as a bat, and the other one
Ivan,
was
Ivan.
Ivan, yeah.
I will go to the Haven again, cinema wise, because I've got stuff I need to do there and things. But it's just not been. There's
Yeah.
been too much other shit to do currently,
and-
and not knowing where you can go safely was a bit
now you guys have the time. You can, do some of your other stuff because you don't need to worry about the territories really at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can walk through with being as safe as you possibly can be, just given the general state of everything. You have either permission to go through, or there's like a general amnesty, barring any like big moves or reveals. It's kind of like, yeah, go where you like. Just don't move into territory as a group because it will look like you're trying to take it over. Whereas Optimus Batman, I mean, Chrys has to find that out, really, doesn't she? Have you guys picked up on Chris's tendency to put everything off that she doesn't want to do or she finds even a little bit difficult?
Yep.
Like socially
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think that's an interesting
Wow.
interesting one.
Thanks, guys.
White
Welcome.
Knight Mac is on the case.
Wonder if I
Well.
saw Saturday there. If he saw Saturday there, who knows? Mac has not enough of his hat on his losing his memory.
Yes.
So, is that Chrys though or Tash? I feel like that is Chrys with some influences of Tash.
Yes, is the answer.
Will we see the ultimate team of Cyclops, Saturday, and Optimus Batman? Well, it's the ultimate showdown, so probably.
Excuse me, and who turns into Wolverine?
That's true.
Bitch.
That's true. But don't you want to see
Wolverine is
Wolverine in there?
dick.
In the mix?
We didn't
Wolverine
even
is
think about
dick.
that really
Never
when
left Gene.
we were deciding what animal Chrys would turn into. And then afterwards I was like, oh no.
So it's gonna be Baron Saturday, Cyclops, Optimus Batman, and Wolverine all in a fight. It's a comic book dream. It's the Batman versus Superman we always wanted. One day Optimus Batman will hunt her down for that fight. Yeah, probably. Like he's already shouted at, well, not shouted. He's already whined at her down the phone. And he
Yeah, I'm sure.
threatened to talk to someone.
Turn to tell on me.
Yeah, threatened to tell on you. Does Gravestone like Chrys more now that she's a Wolverine? Don't know. We'll have to find out.
Probably doesn't care.
So, next up, let us do Calig. Any questions about Calig or thought? There's not too much with Calig and Talia. I think the only thing really to touch on is like their mannerisms and their the kind of just general suspicion all around them because they're
Well, I
powerful.
know what Talia said about there's rumors being spread about her eating people. Yeah, Chrys has told everybody that.
Yeah, Chrys has
So-
told everyone that. It's so funny.
Been like, so
Whoops.
You're the worst.
that'll be nice.
I'm starting to doubt whenever you say you didn't plan it. I suspect Sheepy plans a lot, even when he doesn't let us know. I will say that, like, I always try to go with the sandbox. So if I haven't planned something, and it just happens, then, and if I have planned something and it doesn't play out how I planned it, I'll go with the sandbox as opposed to my plan. So like, say Tess had no interest in Lamia whatsoever. Like, it just didn't happen. It didn't work out. Etc. Etc. They would have still been engaged. And Clay, if Clay didn't piss off any of them, he became friends with them, which was a massive possibility because he is a very genial guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, friends or whatever. Yeah, same thing. Like they would have still been engaged. They would have still been a thing. So are Calig and Talia related? Are you talking genealogy or because yes, they're related because they're literally right next to each other and they have a lot of interactions with each other. So, they in terms of plot and everything, yeah, there is a connection there.
Well, between Calig, Talia, and Elysium, I have an interest in knowing exactly who's the liar about the people trying to cover up masquerade preachers. Who actually has the influence there is of great interest to me.
Yes.
Go back to the Lamia conversation. There was something in that.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, there's something in there, and you know, it doesn't actually have to be if any of them are lying. They could all be telling the truth.
I mean, it is possible, but there's some overlap that makes it difficult to swallow that they're all doing the same thing. Like, either they're actually all doing the same thing and the people who are taking the bribes are really raking it in, or something like that, or one of them thinks they're doing something and the rest, like one person is actually doing all the work.
Well, I mean,
like it's
one of the possibilities is that like for example, is that Elysium thinks that it's, you know, Sheriff Hardcastle thinks that he's influencing police and keeping things, but he just isn't.
That seems the most likely scenario.
Well, and like Callig and Talia are both trying to extend their reach and their influence, because like that would make a lot of sense, because Callig and Talia both got, like, they had plans for expansion, obviously, but their expansion stopped when they started feuding with each other.
Yeah.
Which means that they'd try and seek out other ways to expand, which would be influence and, you know, political gumption and all that type of thing. So they might just be working against each other, and, like, you know, there are policemen getting murdered because they choose one side and not the other, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a whole load of possibilities there. Do they have the same sire? Who knows? They might do. They are both Ventru. And you don't know anything about Callig's sire. All you know about Talia's sire is that they were very influential and very, very rich, and Talia got all of it. So,
Sheepy, we need to do
almost
Chrys questions.
Chrys questions. Yes.
Last Chrys question.
Yeah, I need to go because otherwise my hand's gonna set on fire and I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Because that's bad for vampires.
No,
so if there are any questions, feel free.
If there are any Chrys questions, if anyone would like to know anything else.
If not, that's fine. I will be in chat. But I need to go and.
Okay.
Not
Oh yeah. Go for it. I can read out. I can read out any answers you give.
Yeah, I'll be typing left-handed, so ideally, like anything, nothing. Okay, have fun. Good luck. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
I put
Feel
the
better.
I put the Snackshot notes in the thing.
Nice.
Yay.
How scared of killing Aiden are you? 57 million%.
Yeah, like 90%. Yeah, so rest of the players. Do you have any questions for each other, for me, for, you know, any thoughts that you'd like to go through?
Well, Josh and I know what we want our next snack shot to be. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk to you about that.
Oh,
Sheepy,
yeah.
But we've concluded
You want a
plotting.
duo?
Yeah, we're gonna do a duo.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, thinking about it, I can't do next Sunday.
That's okay.
Just do it in the next session. Like,
so
it's cool.
basically, after Wednesdays and before Mondays, I can do any day. So if we manage to organise it at a different time, that's fine. I'm happy to organise it. If we don't, we can always do it on a Sunday when we are all free.
Actually, I'll look at my calendar, but
Sure.
anyway, that we can talk about that later. But yeah, we have some ideas
Wonderful.
because revenge.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Revenge.
Well, it also,
We're just mad.
It might be worth waiting till the next Sunday anyway, just purely because you haven't found out about it as characters yet.
Yeah.
So it'll have to, you know, it may not come up on Monday. Like, you never know.
Yeah, we will
I mean,
see.
I'm like 90% sure it will come up, but you never know. It just might.
If it doesn't come up, I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I do also love the fact that there's like a faction in the chat which just wants a Conan episode, like just you and Conan.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Conan has already met the Wolverine.
He has.
Yeah.
He has.
Mm-hmm.
He did the traditional doggy jumping up and down in front of it and being like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I was really disappointed that Chrys didn't want to play with Conan. That would have been cute.
Yeah.
Didn't play tug of war, like rude.
Yeah.
That would be a fun scene, going out to the woods with Wolverine and Conan, and just like playing fetch. I think Chrys
fetch.
would probably be down for that.
Because you know what I really enjoyed was the hunting scene where Chrys and Cass both went and took down a stag.
Yeah.
That was really cool to like see them just as predators, like
and it
in
was,
the wild doing their thing, and that was fun.
It was a very, like, to call it that, like predatory scene where it was kind of raw and wild and just like out in the, outside of the city, and like both of them suit. In certain extents, like suit being out in the woods and out in the wilds a little bit.
Oh yeah, well, Cass basically lived in a fucking forest for 20-something years, so yeah, he knows how to live that life. And then there's Chrys, who is just the wildest city girl you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Fucking. Oh.
You alright there,
It is a good scene. I'm fine. I'm just emotionally drained, and I didn't even do anything.
Recuperating.
We're so sorry that we weren't even looking for stuff.
They weren't.
We were just
I can't even
asking.
believe, I can't believe that you guys were able to hold, onto that piece of information for that long. I'm impressed.
It's because your reactions are so good.
Honestly, if we weren't doing the reaction, I may have broken and been like, let's just tell her, because she's gonna find out on Wednesday anyway. But the reaction made it so worth it, because you were kind of like unbelieving at first, and then it was just like head in hands, like just below the camera, just like, oh god, what? No.
I couldn't do it. Ugh.
It's gonna be so interesting though to deal with.
It's gonna be really. Josh and I have some plans on how we maybe want to do it, but again, we'll have to see, because everything gets fucking fucked up.
So
this is gonna end up real messy, I feel. But either way, if it comes out, his entire demeanor towards certain characters will change.
Yeah. And
just a thought, Vandy. What was the name of the drink?
The Jilted Lover. Oh no.
And why do people come to her bar?
Fucking hell.
I'm a horrible asshole. I'm gonna put
You're
my hand
the worst.
Are you sure
You're the worst.
you sure that you don't like her now? Like, sure she doesn't need a friend?
Bitch, I'm the Jilted Lover here. Okay.
What was the what was it? You said, seems like people come here to drown their sorrows, and she said, and also to meet new sorrows.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I can't tell who she's talking about.
Well, she was totally talking about herself. Even Cass picked up on that.
But
but it does take on double meanings, and I hid so much shit in that fucking scene. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, watch that again. Because all I'm saying is that maybe we should maybe she's not so bad.
And I will say the Jilted Lover drink was an on the spot creation where I was just like, I like that. That'll make sense. And Tess's reaction to it as well was so funny. It's just, wow, really? Jilted Lover? Why? That's so depressing.
Fuck. Oh my god.
So bad. I don't know what Josh is thinking.
This is like, you know, heartbreak aside, Cheapy, you're a fucking crazy good GM, and this is, oh man, it's got me as a player on the edge of my seat all the time, and I don't know, like, I'm sure the chat could feel the same way. Like, I'm so excited to do more and learn
so
more.
good. Like,
So
everyone, like, I'm gonna do a clapping emoji for GM. If I can find one, everyone spam claps.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Give Sheepy the clap, everyone.
So yeah, give me the clap. So my aim for this campaign was political intrigue with a freedom. Heavy RP, as heavy as we could get, which I think our 3-scene average has has managed to deliver, and the extra episodes to get more RP in. And yeah, personal dramas and personal crises and personal, like, my intention all the way through this has always been to set you guys up for, not for failure, because that's not interesting. Like failure can be interesting if it happens, but it's more setting you guys up for twists and turns and intrigue and things that will, like, spur your character to change and to reevaluate things and to, you know, like, all of this stuff. So, you know, yeah, I'm really glad that's been coming across in the episodes, because
Definitely.
I will put my hand up and be like, it was a lot of fucking work to build this campaign, but, like, the effort put in is entirely worth it, given everyone's enjoyment of it, like, players and viewers.
It's
And
been a
I'm,
lot of
like,
fun.
fascinated by what Vandy's going to do with Tess, and
I'm
I still
fascinated
don't.
by all of your characters and what you're going to do.
I don't know what Cass is thinking yet, which is why he's just fascinating, full stop.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what he's after quite. Like, I know he wants to do a cult, but I don't know, like, why and what's his, like, real reasoning behind it, and that's what Mac lives on.
I think. Sorry, you finish.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's honestly, that is a really difficult question to answer for Josh and Cass. Like, there's multiple layers of not only ambition but also probably trauma in there,
And contradictions and
like I have I've built him so that, like, there's not one answer to most questions.
Yeah. That's what I loved the first scene today, getting something out of Chrys to start that little journey of, like, so I can speculate in game as to what's going on, and I can, like, that's what Mac will do at least, is try and, like, provide observations on characters' thought processes. So I'm really looking forward to getting something from Cass so he can start trying to provide more insight. Like, he's tried to provide a few thoughts here and there, but it's not really been anything to, like, not anything he can act on yet.
Yeah. I actually might be able to. I want to take a shot at answering this question for Cassius.
Go.
Why doesn't Cass want to find Saturday? I think it's probably the same reason. Like the one of the underlying reasons why he didn't want to contact Winnie, which is like
Denial.
Well, no, it's like, denial's a part of it, and, like, Josh, that was played beautifully, by the way, when you were using the present tense after he died, like, to talk about Winnie. Like, dude, that was a fucking master stroke, and I was like, I almost forgot to GM for a second. I was just sitting there like, wow. But yeah, I would say probably he doesn't want to find Saturday, partially. I mean, he probably does as well, because he does.
He would say he does.
Yeah, he has a sense. He definitely has a sense of responsibility that he finds very hard to resist. It's, like, ingrained in him. And I think like the problem there is that while he does want to find Saturday for his responsibility and his feeling of like his promise to Winnie, looking after everyone, also Saturday more and more seems like the person, aside from Cassius, who's been away for so long, who was closest to Winnie and knows his secrets. Which means that he may know Cassius's secrets, and he may know things that Cassius doesn't know about Winnie.
He may also find out things he doesn't want to know about Winnie. He's probably got this idealistic vision of what Winnie was and stuff like that.
I think all of the players, players' characters do, to a certain extent.
If I can respond to Cry asking if Mac forgot about Saturday. Not really, but finding Saturday's not a case for Mac currently.
No.
Inviting people to the meeting, that's a case. Rags in prison, that's a case. No one's asked him to find Saturday.
Yeah.
So, there might be some interest there, but
maybe if we pay you £5,000.
But that's maybe a potential bit of Mac's psyche trickled to you.
Here's actually a question for all of you guys, including Tash. Where do you think Saturday is? Do you have any ideas?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's fair. There hasn't been really any sight nor sound of him.
Hard to.
Yeah, just feel free to take a wild stab where you're like, I think Saturday's here.
Somewhere obvious. Somewhere very close to us, because he's an obfuscatey sneak.
Honestly, I think he might be in the maze.
Mm-hmm.
That seems likely. Just going with theme here.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know where he is, but I can imagine he's probably still trying to help do the things that he was doing with Winnie.
Okay.
Really? Because I was.
I have a feeling, I know it's probably not obvious, right? Because maybe Winnie was the one who kind of kept him in check, but when he died, I don't know enough about Saturday, but I could speculate maybe if he was so super lonely, he might try to find a way to get back into a pattern that, I don't know, works for him or that is familiar. But I don't know. We just don't know enough about Saturday, and we haven't really heard anything about him either.
True that. We can ask at the meeting. Be like, yo, everyone.
You could ask.
Well, I asked Calig.
True that.
You asked Calig.
Yeah.
No one's asked the Carrion. Interestingly.
Did Tash not?
No.
Yeah, we only mentioned him once.
You've mentioned him to Carrion, I think. But no one's asked
that was ages ago. Yeah.
I mean, the Carrion would probably be the easiest route to go.
Carrion,
seeing as they're info brokers.
Yeah, Carrion would be the most likely to have kept up on his movements. And the most likely to know, just purely because that's their job. Tash says, I think he's changed his name and is doing sneaky things. It's funny that people don't trust me so much, they're not even willing to hazard a guess as to where he might be, except for Josh, who's like, yeah, probably in the base.
Trouble is we got nothing to go on.
Yeah,
I'd have no idea.
That's why I said guess. I'm interested. I'm interested to know, because Saturday's kind of become a thing for the chat.
Really?
Which is, they're always asking, where's Saturday? Who's gonna find Saturday? Which I find intriguing because he wasn't really, featured that much in the, he was just something in the background that occasionally popped up and wandered off with Winnie. Also, someone said,
I just rolled the lucky dip. He's in the coterie.
Oh, he's in the coterie. Okay.
I'm calling it now.
Okay.
I just rolled randomly,
it worked
and that's
last
what came
time
up.
pretty well.
Oh, it's in one of our coteries. That's what I technically rolled. So we'll see if the Malkavian's right.
Mine would just be nonsensical, like YOLO. He's in the blessed and is Jesus now. I mean, maybe he went there for spiritual solace after losing Winnie.
He could be the leader of the blessed. Yeah.
Josh's silence.
I wonder if
is
he's actually
deafening.
with Fortuna.
Yeah, he could have been picked up by one of the closer groups.
Yeah.
Shit, he could be in the front, and you guys
He could be. Fuck. We have no idea. He could be anywhere. Like,
could be in the old guard.
I highly doubt he's with the Wilds, though. I have a feeling like he'd
the wilds would be like,
be like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" Like,
I honestly doubt he would have crossed the river.
Yeah.
We have to think about what to do with the front. That's going to be a whole talk.
It would be interesting if he had his own territory, and you like run into him. He's at the meeting. He's like, "Will, what's up?"
This is my gang.
Just a grumpy kid at the meeting, hey, I have as much say as any of you, so shut up, okay?
Yeah. I don't go to my
God.
room. Also,
Yeah, and then we turn up and like, go to your room Saturday, god damn it.
Also, someone said, considering he is a Malk, he could have Mask of 1,000 Faces, so he could be anyone. Nobody checked with all specs. What I will say to that...
if he's Clay.
what I'll say to that is he a Malkavian?
I don't know if we ever found out what he was.
Winnie said he was a Malkavian, didn't he?
Yes, Winnie said he was a Malkavian.
Oh god, that doesn't mean he's a Malkavian, does it?
It doesn't mean he's a Malkavian.
Winnie just gets told things. Winnie just takes people's kids and it's like, you're a Malkavian, right? Yeah, sure. Okay, bye.
Oh,
fucking, oh god.
the realization there where it's like, we did actually find out he's Malkavian. Winnie just said he was a Malkavian. You never saw any of his abilities or powers.
Mm-hmm.
Kafka said about an enforcer.
And the only information, which I don't think any of you know except for Mac, is Mac did a premonition in his room.
Yeah, leading me to believe he's a obfuscatey sort of vamp.
Why?
But because he was being enveloped in shadows. I mean, that could be symbolic of many things, but
It could be.
that's as far as I think Mac understands. I don't know how much he reads into the premonitions in terms of symbolism.
The entire room was blacked out. It was just completely gone.
Why do you do this, sheepy?
Because I'm a dick. I've stated this.
So, can I paint that picture? Can you paint that picture for me now of what I saw? Because I had like shadows creeping up his body, like going up over his neck and face, enveloping him.
The shadows crept up your body, and shadows like enveloped the room until it was in complete darkness.
Right. Okay, so Antichrist. Cool.
Yeah. Or a ghost.
Okay.
Like he's probably another gravestone.
Okay, cool. So that's a bit more right. Okay, I thought it was all to do with him. So right, that's a bit more ominous. Cool. We're all
I believe very much in portents and things you can go back to and like read a scene completely differently. So I do set like if you I'm not telling you guys to go back and like scrub through every single bit, but if you do eventually choose to go back, like scenes will. A really good example is Cassius. Cassius is the most layered character so far, where so many things will make sense when you go back and like see certain scenes and see things that happen to Cassius and etc. So like yeah, and actually
Why do the Nosferatu keep forgetting?
Yeah, and
it doesn't matter now, does it?
Doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean we still can't use it. Like. They'll remember who you are in the moment, and then they'll forget again, most likely. Possibly.
Well, they only know they're forgetting someone. They don't know it's.
They don't know
Cass.
who.
I'm not sure. So there are two things I'm thinking about. That is A. They could just hire a non-Nosferatu. That would be real easy.
Oh, true,
B.
Yeah.
How fragile is this thing that protects him from Nosferatu?
And is it saving him from something, or
Yeah, is it like if that breaks, how bad is the fallout? If it doesn't break, like is he just because the status quo at the moment is fairly cushy for him. even though it sucks.
Yeah.
But
do they remember everything when it's broken? Like, does it all just come flooding back, or is it?
Yeah,
like...
yeah. If/when it's broken. Yeah. Who does it? Like, who hates Nosferatu that much? It's a really, really complex thing that I need to go and yell at Shelby about.
Yes. Yes.
So that's
All
another
the
snack
yelling.
shot, probably, like just yelling at
I've got
Shelby.
so I'm not always able to do them, but the thing is, I've got like 10 that I really, really want to do lined up.
Well, you have time as well, so you guys can do your individual scenes that you've been wanting to do in the show as well. Like, I think you all have so much you want to do and want to get done, and things you'd really like to see, etc., that between the snack shots and the main show, we should get quite a lot done in the next few episodes, as you have free time aside from possible whatever you want to do with the front and Gorban.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sia, it's like, who hates Cass that much, or who likes Cass that much? That's another thing I'm not sure on, is whether it's benevolent or sinister.
Yeah.
The tricky thing we have to wrestle with is, let's say I've got 10 scenes on my list of scenes to do and I knock off 5. The problem I now have is that I've got 55 scenes on my list of things to do. Like, that's the problem. Is my list is growing like exponentially here, and I've got so much shit I need to do, and the more I do, the bigger it's going to get. Like, it's squaring every time. I don't understand. So
I mean, like, as time goes on, there will be less reveals and less, like like you'll start to figure these things out, and some things will just go away.
So some like tying the knot in a few things will be nice eventually, especially for Mac.
You trying to give Vandy trauma? Tying the knot, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's way past that point. We're way far past that. Drama's already happened, my dudes.
Where is Mac's Cockney gone? How do I phrase an answer to that?
You don't.
It hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, it's exactly where it always is.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do to close things off, because we don't want to make this too long. This is 3.5 hours so far about in total with the beginning part. And I think 3.5 hours is like a regular episode of Sunkissed probably at this point. Good 3 scenes. Scene an hour.
Fucking hell.
I've got a way to answer that better.
Okay.
Not where did Mac's Cockney voice go? The question you want to be asking is, why did the Cockney voice appear?
Yeah. So, final questions in the chat, please. If anyone has questions, just dump them in, and I or we will answer them, depending on who they're addressed at. And let's have final thoughts, feelings, and like anything you guys want to talk about for the show, basically, for Sunkissed. I'll be doing a wrap up of all of the episodes we've done so far soon. Just kind of, one of the things I'm thinking about doing is hiring an artist to draw scenes, and then doing a talk through of like the basic stuff that happened with the animated scenes. I think that would be really nice. So I may look into that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can't help myself, man. I love this show. I'm really enjoying it, and I wanna do.
It's so good.
Like, it would
To be
really
honest.
Cool to get, yeah.
Oh no! To be honest, I mean, I found a song that, like, just a random song. I found that I want to do like an intro video, or like I've just kind of like been noodling around with it. I don't know if anything will ever come of it, but for Sunkissed, and I've just kind of been doing little storyboards for it just to see if it would actually work. But I don't know. I don't know.
Anything along those lines, I'm down to to chat about and figure out. anything? I mean, aside, no, you know what? Including just telling me to, fuck off, or how much you hate me, or just shouting at me.
I've already gotten my shit out.
Okay.
In the end, I appreciate the fact that you're able to make something that produces such a visceral reaction.
The highs are good, but the lows are low. Like, you enjoyed that head rub a lot.
I did.
It was
I
so
did.
good.
Oh, there are so many things Cass gets to yell at people about. This is so good.
Mac did nothing wrong.
Mac,
Well,
I think you might be in the clear.
where...
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, like Tash
Right?
Tash will
I
dog
don't.
on me.
I'm gonna have to
kidding me?
think about it. Because double checking that, Mac seems like he should be in trouble, right? But I'm not
He
sure if
should
he
be.
is.
Motherfucker.
I got these two guys started on me and I nearly got beaten up. I nearly went the same way as Elysium, but Chrys saved me. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
I might have slipped and headbutted him first, but it was a slip.
Yeah, so,
Mhm.
that's fine.
And yeah, I made friends at Elysium, and they're nice and we can manipulate them. So I did useful things. Hashtag cool.
Okay. Anything else from you guys before I get into questions?
No, I want a burrito.
Yeah.
I want
So
another beer.
finishing off questions. Sheepy, is Mac's lie detector a merit? No, it is a specialization for insight. So it's insight lie detector. If someone is lying, or if he is trying to, more likely if he's trying to detect a lie, he gets a bonus dice to his wits insight for that instance. So it's a specialization. And both me and Hydra agreed it made sense because he's always investigating, always like interrogating people. He'd definitely be able to start picking up specifically.
It's his
like,
detective
lies.
hunch.
Yeah. Thank you, Sheepy and Cast. This was fun as usual. Thank you, V. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from? Cockney Vice Joe. Thank you. Thank you, Bentham.
Round of applause for that.
Are you trying to make Vandy kill you? No, I'm not. But I have GM'd for Vandy before, and I know the type of things she enjoys and the type of RP she enjoys and what would be fun for everyone. And as much as she hates me, and as much as she hates the story and the plot and all of the mines, I feel like she's also enjoying it quite a lot. So
I'm a bit of a RP masochist, yeah. So.
And I wanted to step my game up. I wanted to step my game up from when I GM'd her on Dark Heresy. So I decided.
And seeing your reaction to him, it just makes it so much cooler to watch. Like,
You've
this is why
succeeded, to be
me and
honest,
Tash
so.
all week were like, we need to watch this. I can't wait for Wednesday because we just wanted to watch you burst out in fury at Sheepy. And it's just been a pleasant evening for me and Tash.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did too, honestly. It was really fun. That was so cool.
When cinema scene with Mac? Probably next episode, Monday. It will probably
I would imagine
be
so. Yeah.
one of the early scenes that we start off with.
Yep.
Now, who knows? We may get like 4 scenes an episode.
I just remembered that I went there.
Yeah.
It just came back to me.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
my name's Hydra. I play in Sunkist.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, I just got back. Yeah, I'm here now. Good.
Okay, cool. Do we have the name of the prince? Are you using standard VTM fighting rules? A little bit custom. I go with what feels right. So sometimes I may go with more in-depth, longer fighting, or in the example of Mac and Chrys, it was a lot more simplified, a lot more kind of like theater of the mind with some rolling to kind of make it a bit quicker to, because otherwise, we could be there longer, and it wasn't a very important fight mechanically. It didn't need to go into like massive detail because they were mugs who didn't have enough dice to beat a bad roll from Chrys, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. And do we have the name of the prince? Yes, we do have the name of the prince. Give me a moment. It's back in my old well, not old, but it's back in my folders for before the fire and everything. And it is Stanley Holness.
Stanley.
Fun fact, he's
Stanley.
a Toreador.
Wait, really?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which I think probably explains a few things, like why he's out in the country, like enjoying the countryside, and he doesn't give a shit about the town.
Yeah, he's all about his own shit.
Just gotta say, I love Tash's left hand typing.
Yes, it's wonderful. Sheepy fave scenes. No one exactly sure why he likes that particular one until 10 weeks later. That's true. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite scene. I love this scene so much, and everyone's like, it's pretty decent. And then like 10 weeks later, it's like, oh. Did someone walk by the drunk Tremere? By drunk Tremere? So yeah, one thing I've told everyone, and I'll repeat it here. There is one Tremere in the city currently. You know, let's say for the sake of argument, there's one Tremere Compos Mentis, not, you know, a free agent, basically. And one person in one episode walked within about 5 meters of them. So, yeah.
Huh.
Go in a bookshop. Calling it now.
The bookshop?
Yeah, I think Cass was like there was a suspected guy.
Oh,
in a bookshop.
the old man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my theory.
Bleh.
That was in between him being drunk.
Yeah. Is the drunk Tremere in the Oasis? He is not. I can actually tell you that. I like Cyclops. Who doesn't like Cyclops? Except for me. I hate Cyclops. He's such a boring fucking character. I love Gambit. Gambit's the best. Cass can only tell us off if he knows. Mac is a hero. Leave him alone. Is Hecata represented in Weirbridge? Hecata is the general name for all of the like Giovanni and stuff, yeah? As I remember.
I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Nah. No. I'm gonna tell you now. It's a yes. I don't even need to guess.
Okay, fine then. Yeah, there are Hecata here.
I have a strong suspicion we might have already met one.
Sure, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe. And there's some emotes. Do we meet Tess's sister next week? Who knows? She's in the city.
Oh.
She's in the city. So, I mean, would I do that to Tess and to Vandy? Like, she literally just found out.
Yes, you fucking would, Sheepy. Don't trying to bullshit everyone now. Listen, they've already seen the fucking snack shot from last week.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. Have you seen the snack shot from last week, Vandy, yet?
No, I'm actually gonna watch it right after this. I'm gonna get food and rewatch. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch a few of the episodes.
Are we gonna end up having like a sun-kissed watch party for the cast, where it's like we gotta go back and like skim through and talk about all these scenes?
Honestly, oh man, you know, there might be. You should pick like a couple choice episodes where you're like, we should rewatch this one and this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And or like specific scenes.
I could work through and get some scenes for you guys that make more sense in context or might give you more clues.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
If you think about, like, it's not like a pressing thing, but it's definitely something that I think if we had a little watch party, we could do something where we're like, oh, that makes so much sense, or blah blah, you know.
More cult screaming from Josh and Cassius.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want that. And he has a lot of interesting things on that front, so that should be fun. It's so easy to RP when there's no chaos. Tell me about it.
Got another moment.
Oh.
So having just realised I went to the cinema, I've now, I am turning into a Malkavian, figured out a answer to one of the very first questions, which I think is more satisfying as to how to make a Malkavian. Is just start with a fairly basic concept that is maybe a little bit tropish and has a few quirks, and play with people that are amazing at roleplay and think, shit, I need to make this a lot more detailed. Because Mac was quite simple to begin with.
Well, no, the Malkavian...
Not simple.
The Malkavian side of Mac was done properly. Like, you know, we added some tweaks to it later. But the character of Mac Marlowe and all encroaching things was not like in-depth backstory yet. Like we've done that now, and we know
the how and the why was left a little bit. And I'm a novice to a lot of this, but I think if you fill in some of the details later, you can make subtle tweaks to a character. And I'm nagging Sheepy every week to be like, oh, I think this might be a thing that I can. So
one of the things I try to do as a GM is encourage my role players who are either like very certain on their role playing and what they want to do, or on the setting. So for example, Vandy and Josh knows a lot about the lore. Vandy had like me and her, we like got into her character's backstory so deeply, so quickly. So I was perfectly happy to do that with them. Whereas with them being new to the system and like reasonably new to role playing as well, Hydra and Tash, we didn't go as deep into their characters to begin with, because I wanted them to figure out their characters so that later on we could get together and like flesh out things to expand them. So we did start with Mac. Like I think Hydra said what he was interested in doing, like a kind of detective-y type character. And I was like,
this was the second concept. We were like the third concept.
It was like the third concept, yeah. And I was like, well, seeing as you're a Malkavian, what about he thinks he's a noir detective and he actually has like, you know, Malkavian tendencies around being a 20s noir detective in like
he is a noir
film.
Detective. Don't know what you mean.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And above all, pick something that you're really excited to play.
Yeah.
Because I love detectives, even though as it sometimes comes across in the session like I haven't a fucking clue. But it's great. Because being a detective, fortunately the Malkavian's the perfect excuse for him to be terrible at conversations, which means I don't have to put a lot of thought into my questioning other than just follow a bunch of question lines that are in my head at random.
I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of that meeting between Kale and Mac was meticulously thought out. The conversation.
That was the one that made the most sense in many ways.
What ways are those?
But honestly,
I watched Chinatown last night, and I was like, this guy is about as competent as Mac.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so it's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
You're doing fine.
Were some of the factions, even unknown ones, destroyed by now? Yes. There were, I've taken them out of the mix because they've either been absorbed or completely destroyed. There was actually a faction which didn't have a home, which was gathering Kindred up to escape the city. And when they eventually left, they got completely destroyed by the Camarilla and the Anox together. So they're all dead and gone now.
Oh. Well, that's a few less NPCs for you, Sheepy.
It is not. They were actually, I didn't include them because unless you guys ran into them, they were going to leave and they were going to die. So, but I thought it'd be a fun storyline for you guys to meet them. They're planning to leave. You might be able to find out about the kind of lockdown that's happening in around the city to like no one's allowed out and like the reasons why. But you know, again, sandbox. You have to prepare for these possibilities, but not force people into the, you know, like I'd have loved to tell that story and to look into it, but I can save it for another campaign and have it happen there if necessary. And there's like 2 or 3 other factions with similar situations. A couple of them got absorbed. You know, a couple of them like shifted allegiances or just disappeared. So yeah. As I said, you know, it's a sandbox. You have to prepare for a lot. But once you've prepared for it, these things play themselves out, and it's worth it because it gives the city and the setting a lot more like substance to it. Like even if you don't experience it, like you can almost feel the ripples when you're playing the game and when you're watching. I feel like anyway. So that's not a question for me. That's if Tash has painkillers. I think she does. Was it a drunk Tremere? I don't know. There is a drunk Tremere who was in 5 meters. You know, yeah. Hikata, check the morgue's funeral homes. Maybe one that stinks of death. Yes. Oh, everyone just went crazy over that one. Anyway. So that's why they were so different at the meeting, different bloodlines of Hikata. Are there any more questions here for me? I'm getting down there. Can we have a snack shot that is just a Mac monologue? I'm perfectly happy to do that, so, you know.
As long as you're happy with it being 3 hours. Like
everything else we do?
like everything else.
We were when here's another little bit of trivia. When we were doing the this snack shot, episode 2 snack shot, we were like, we'll do like we won't be able to do like 30 minutes, obviously. We'll do like 45 to an hour, and I think we got to about 2 hours 10 or something, so.
Yep.
Yeah. What was previous concepts of Hydra's character? There was one who was like a motivational speaker. I did steer Hydra away from it.
Street artist first.
Well, I was going to get to street artist.
Oh, okay, yeah. Psychologist was...
There was kind of like a psychologist, motivational speaker type guy, but in certain ways it felt a bit close to Cassius.
Even though I could have talked a lot like Jordan Peterson, eh?
Yeah, or Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And then the second was a street artist, like a graffiti artist, who was a lot younger, obviously, and he painted truth in the future in his graffiti. So all over the city would be like images of the future and like prophecies and like insight into characters and stuff like that. But he wouldn't know what they were because he's a Malkavian. He's just doing it accidentally in his art. Which I, you know what I would have done with that, but yeah, it's okay.
Yep. And there was Mac. Job done.
And I'm really happy we went with Mac because he turned out to be, you know,
yeah,
great character.
I've got still so much with Mac. Like, yeah, I could write a book on him now.
We could do like that would be interesting if we did like a Mac snack shot scene from his perspective. So it would be in a noir, like I'd have to describe everything in noir terms.
Oh yeah,
and, you know, like
how he sees the world. Yeah.
So he'd go into the he'd go into the Oasis, for example, and it would be like a classic cafe bar type thing from the 20s. Everyone would be in like flapper gear, and there'd be, you know, like
that'd be great. I'd have to like third person narrate every other minute.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Why not?
We just love our neighbor necromancers. Who knows? But I think I'm gonna end things there, guys, because this has been this has been a longer Q&A, but also very productive and a lot of fun. So the main thing I have to say is obviously Twitch channels of everyone will be in the description. Go give them a follow. Go give them love. They're all amazing, and without them, you know, regardless of what kind of campaign I made, it wouldn't be fun because you know, they've been fucking amazing. And also, if you're interested, Vandy specifically has done a reaction stream to the Snackshot episode you just saw, with all of us talking about certain things, and especially reacting to the reveals that we had in the Snackshot episode 2. So you know what? I'm just gonna grab a link to the VOD and just dump it in the link in the description below. So go check that out, because that was just so much fun.
I can also give it to you if you want.
Oh yeah, that works. That works.
Okay.
So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you on Monday. This is gonna get more and more interesting, I feel like, and it's all my fault. And
Spicy.
yeah, thanks to everyone in the cast for coming over to just chill with a Q&A with everyone. That was a lot of fun. See you next time. I'm sorry, everyone.